Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back. Round 5, Toowoomba Open. We're here. It's happening. Who we got? Talk to me. Who's in chat? What's cracking? I need to know. So we are round 5, Toowoomba Open 2019. I'm just going to ramble some stuff until we are ready to roll. Hello Wes, jumping into chat here. We've got, round 5 for potentially first place. We have Corey Papanini versus Dave Kerr. So the master versus, Corey's kind of a newcomer, I guess. So, but definitely showing some dominance in the scene at the moment as well. So, jumping into chat, Sneaky Dans. Hello, Sneaky Dans. I don't know who you are. If you're comfortable with telling me who you are, that would be always appreciated. But yeah, we've got Skaventide versus Darkling Covens. So, as we mentioned a couple times before, the Australian meta yet again destroying the internet, showing that the Australian meta is a unique one, a very unique one indeed. So, but yeah, guys, we'll be kicking off the round shortly, and we will see what's happening. Gemma is back. Gemma will be chatting. Let me move over a bit more so you can actually get in the screen.
How professional this looks. Hey, couldn't get any more professional.
It's totally fine. Totally fine. But yeah, guys, we will be kicking off the round once everyone's sort of ready to go. As I mentioned, Skaventide versus Darkling Covens. Might go through the list shortly. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot them through. But yeah, I might just quickly shoot through the lists. We've got, I'll go through Corey's first. So Corey Papanimi is running Skaventide. He hasn't picked any realms to come from. But he has running one Arch Warlock as his general. He is running the Command Trade Deranged Inventor, which I believe rerolls to hit in a 12-inch bubble. He's also running the Vigordust Injector, which we saw earlier in the tournament with Paris, and that is +1 to hit, +1 to charge. And then at the end, in the next hero phase, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. And he's also got more war power, so that reroll hits, reroll wounds, same thing again. Basically suffering D3 mortal wounds in the next hero phase. He's running one Vermin Lord Warpseer, so a great utility piece, definitely a great spell, just a pain in the butt basically. He's also running a Grey Seer on Screaming Bell, and he's running the spell Warp Gale. So yeah, just definitely shutting down some movement, can definitely provide a bit of a pain as well. In regards to units, we're running 40 Clan Rats with Rusty Spears, 40 Clan Rats with Rusty Blades, 20 Clan Rats with Rusty Spears, 9 Warplock Jezzails, and 30 Scryer Acolytes. So a bit of a nasty combo, definitely some big long-range threat from the Warplock Jezzails. I would imagine that the Arch Warlock will be thing those, giving them a +1 to hit, and potentially getting some further buffs from the Vigordust Injector, as well as more war power. So that can also be put onto the big unit of Scryer Acolytes as well. So yeah, there's definitely some threats to deal with there as well. Looking into chat, I think Magra is friends with everyone, to be honest. Red Seth, g'day. Hello, Red Seth, how are you? Thanks for jumping in. If you're comfortable telling us who you are, where you're from, would love to know who's in our chat. Wes again, great chats, Rowan. Get ready for some sick comedy. We are ready, and Red Seth, yes, we do. We do love you, Wes. So we'll jump into Dave Kerr's list real quickly. As we know before, if you watched the last game, this might be a bit of a repeat on information, but for anyone who is jumping in for the first time, Dave is running Darkling Covens from the Mortal Room of Gur. He is running a Sorceress on Black Dragon. That is his general. Is equipped with a Witch Rod, impossibly swift for neg1 to hit. Artifact is the Griff Feather Charm for a further neg1 to hit, +1 to move. Running a Sorceress with the Anklet of Epiphany. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's okay. That one is +1 to cast and +1 to unbind when near a terrain feature. And the beautiful, the wonderful, the amazing Gotrek.
Oh, he's back.
Gotrek's
he is
back. And sound the DJ horns. So Gotrek is here. In regards to battle line, we're running 30 Executioners, 10 Blackguard, 10 Dark Shards, 10 Dark Shards, 10 Dread Spears. All of that is, obviously with the exception of Gotrek, I believe, round out the Thrall Warhost. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, basically your biggest unit, in this instance the Executioners, can charge, pile in, attack in your hero phase. So basically getting around the potential activation wars because it's all happening in the hero phase. So that's super great, really good. Saw it take effect in the game against Khorne. Definitely Dave was able to get in there, get rid of some bloodthirsters. Super great battalion. He's also running the Springy Dinghy for some teleporting shenanigans, as well as the Quicksilver Sword. So that could come into effect being against Skaven. So we'll see what happens. In regards to command points, both armies have purchased a command point, and it is 1990 versus 1980. So Dave will get a triumph as well. So
yes, he did take advantage of that last game too. So let's see if he does the same thing this round.
Absolutely.
So they have done the roll-off for sides, and Corey did win that.
Okay.
And he has chosen the left-hand side of the table, so that is because there is a commanding piece of terrain there and some overgrown.
Oh, there you go. Very nice.
So he wants to take advantage of that if possible. Hopefully popping and getting some more command points if he puts heroes near that commanding piece. And there's also a Kit Kat. The Kit Kat has returned. It is in the centre of the table.
Excellent.
Dave is sponsored by Kit Kat, but only the chunky style. He is not the normal
like
Kit Kat.
Chunky.
Yeah.
I know that's how Dave likes his women, as like he likes his Kit Kats, chunky.
Chunky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thick.
With 2 C's. So, jumping into chat, we're looking at Red Seth, Matt from Rocky, same club as Wes. Oh, awesome, man. Well, thank you, Matt, for joining. Sneaky Dan's, I'm Hurt Josh. It is Zeech Dan. Hello, Dan. Mr. Cochran. Thanks for jumping in, man. Really appreciate that. And Wes, it's 3++ boys, you have no power here. Matt jumping back with so chunky you can carve it. That is true, yeah, absolutely. I do remember that reference. I don't remember where it's from exactly, but you're right, it is so chunky you can carve it. But yeah, guys, we might just jump onto the table and start looking. We can edit some bits and pieces from our end, and we'll start looking at where stuff's starting to get deployed. So we'll jump over to the table and let's get this game started. So switching over. Here we are. So as we can see, we've got that one. So
we're going to have to just do a quick fix-up, everybody.
So we'll just reset from last round, guys, so just bear with us for 1 second and we will fix that up. That's okay. We're just have to fix up a couple quick things, guys, so bear with us. We just made a little bit of a whoopsie, but that's okay. We can change that. So just bear with us for 2 seconds.
Yes, so as you can see, basically Corey has put an Arch Warlock down, if you haven't noticed already, next to that commanding piece of terrain, so he's already taken advantage of that with a hero. And Gotrek is in the centre of the table. So the big D himself has been put down. His presence is known on the table. So we will see if he can pull off some 12-inch charges like he did in the last round.
Absolutely.
And take out some rats. So.
Well, he does have some dead rats on his board, so we've got we just got a couple little technical difficulties here, guys. We will fix up the scenario. We'll fix up those few bits and pieces. But what we'll do is we'll focus on the things that we can control for now, and then we will get that organised. So, just bear with us, guys. We'll fix this up in a sec.
Yeah, just give us a couple of minutes.
Couple of minutes. We'll get it sorted. Potentially, we should be able to fix it though. So we've got Corey. D Covens. So tell us, guys, what's happening? What are we up to this Sunday afternoon? What are we doing? Anything exciting? Are we doing some hobby? What are we working on? Talk to us. We need to know this information.
A sneaky dance, I think. Our overlay looks good, thank you. Yeah, we just need to fix it up and actually correct the scenario that's in there. Unfortunately, we've had a little bit of a hiccup there, and it's still saying the last one. So just give us a couple of minutes, and we'll update that.
Yeah, we'll get it fixed, guys.
And it'll be sweet. So we did spend a few hours trying to get the overlays made in the last week or so.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a long week for everybody.
Yeah, we have learned a lot.
But just with this being our first stream, guys, we'll obviously do our best to make everything work and everything like that. There's been a few little hiccups, but I think for the most part, everything's been pretty good. So guys, let us know if there's anything from your end that you feel could be done a little bit better, or any constructive criticism. Always happy to hear that. Just let us know. Always happy to hear that. It's been a really good weekend. We've really been enjoying just being on the live stream and hanging out with everybody. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a really good time. So definitely keen to do a little bit more in the future, and it's been great.
I can't believe we've reached the last game already. So Dave has actually set up a unit of dark shards as well. So it looks like Corey has a few more models set up than Dave at the moment. They keep knocking the poor terrain off the table. So while we are fixing this up, I would like to just do a couple of shout outs to the people who have helped with the prizes.
Absolutely.
And let's go. So basically, we'd like to thank Dark Fantastic Mills. So we have basically the terrain that has been on the stream table over the weekend is from Dark Fantastic Mills, and painted by Ham Solo himself. So just a shout out to Dark Fantastic Mills. If you guys don't know who he is, jump on Facebook. He has got a website as well. He is from England. He does do 3D printed terrain and a lot of other stuff as well. So there's trophies in there as well. So we got onto him, we bought some terrain, and he also has done our trophies for us here too. So we have got 3 for first, second, third. We have 1 for best opponent and 1 for best painted. So they look fantastic. He is an absolute gentleman himself. I have corresponded with him over email, and he is just lovely. Fantastic. So we also have Battle Station. So Battle Station is our local shop here in Toowoomba. We have one of the gentlemen here playing in the tournament who is one of the owners, and the other owner is Mr. Andrew Kennedy. So those guys are lovely. They are open basically Monday through to Saturday. Sundays sometimes.
It's the holy day, guys. It's the holy day.
It is. So that sometimes they do some board games day. So they do everything ranging from Dungeons and Dragons, Magic, 40k, Infinity, AOS.
It's pretty much, if it's a hobby and you have access to it, they can generally get it in for you guys. So.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys are travelling up, they have quite a large store as well. So there's always tables set up there to have some games. We go there usually a few times a week to roll some dice.
Absolutely.
So you should definitely make the journey if you're in Brisbane. Come up, get on to us. We'll have a game there, and you can meet the family of the Toowoomba community.
Yeah,
we also have Brishammer. The boys from Brishammer have provided us with the Big Dick Energy Award. So that has personally been made by Dino, and they have also provided a Sylvaneth Start Collecting box as well. So that is awesome. Those guys they run events down in Brisbane as well, obviously called the Brishammer events.
Yep.
I've been to, I think, 2 or 3 of those events. One of the best events down in Brisbane that I've been to.
I've been to every single one. They are definitely one of the best events in Queensland for sure.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend it. I'd be going to the next one in a heartbeat. We also have Heralds of War. So that is Travis, Clint, and Adam, and they basically are one of the leading podcast groups and just general Age of Sigmar groups in Australia. So they will be running CanCon as well. Clint does that with the help of Travis, and they have provided a trophy for mid-tables.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
it's the person who finishes the highest with 3 wins, 2 losses, I believe. So.
Yeah, so that's interesting. We haven't seen that before, and that's awesome. I'm glad that there's something new that we can provide at this tournament, and I'm just absolutely stoked that those guys there have provided us with that trophy.
Absolutely.
We'd also like to thank Josh McGowan. He is now a local of Toowoomba.
Yep.
He was a Brizzy fella. He has provided us with so many tables and terrain here. So he helped us set up on Friday afternoon. So big shout out to Josh. Thanks so much. You guys, you have a lifesaver.
Yeah,
with
100%.
tables.
Yeah, just was kind enough to take some time out of his Friday afternoon, brought in some tables, just some boards to put on top of our sort of trestle tables, as well as some mats, some terrain, some other bits and pieces, as well as, like I said, his time as well. So, thanks, Mr. McGowan. Much appreciated. Really, thank you very much for your help so far.
Yeah, definitely. And we also have Battle Kiwi have also helped us out from New Zealand. So they were awesome to deal with as well. So basically what they've done is we've got some objective markers. So all the objective markers that you see on the stream and the terrain, the scenery rules as well were provided by Battle Kiwi. They made them for us. They laser cut them out of acrylic. They look fantastic. If you guys ever run a tournament or just need some objective markers for yourself, or 3-inch markers, 9-inch markers, get onto Battle Kiwi. They were really fast, really helpful, have all the colours. They can basically do anything that you like.
Yeah, just for anyone who doesn't know, Gemma, do they have other items that they supply, or is it just from an order perspective, or...?
No, they do supply other stuff as well, so I would definitely jump onto their website and have a look, because I'm pretty sure they do some trophy stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
They do some, obviously I've already said objective markers, terrain, they do that as well, so jump on their website. They're excellent.
So guys, if you have any, so basically if you need some gaming supplements, check them out for sure. And our last sponsor is Sand Stream Etching. So they have been nice enough to help us out with the sword, the first place sword. So they were nice enough. They're another local Toowoomba company. We'll probably get some photos up at the end of it. As well as, you'll get to see it as well. It's pretty damn cool.
It's pretty awesome. So basically that's the award for the most kill points if you are not aware. So you'll be able to swing that big bad boy around.
Absolutely.
And I'd just like to thank the greater community as well for people bringing terrain and mats and helping us out with that. So there was a lot of people from Brisbane have come up and provided us with those as well. So
I think it's again, as we've said millions and millions of times, it's definitely the greater Queensland community getting together, helping out some people just to make sure that they can get their events over the line, making sure they're looking nice, like looking out to the tables, like it looks fantastic. Like there's not any rubbish tables, there's nothing that it looks great. Definitely some fantastic tables out here this weekend as well. Jumping into chat, looking at, we've got so Chunky can cover it. Overlay looks good. Thanks, Sneaky Dan. Prime, so welcome back, Sean. Big Sean, thanks for jumping back in again. Thank God I missed half the round. No, we are just setting up, my good sir. Luke 89, crew's appointment looks super fun. I'd say area denial and trying to keep Dave as far away as possible, I think is definitely the strategy here. If he can, we'll see how things go. Back to Big Sean, MDF2, made all my dice trays, and Clint has one. Yes, I have seen the notorious dice trays and other paraphernalia, so definitely looking super good. So Battle Kiwi, battling in the mortal realms. But guys, looking at our deployment here, obviously we've got Dave's obviously holding off on his deployment of his executioners. We've got our warps here, Screaming Bell, and some big Gribblies in the centre of the board there, obviously to sort of make sure that everything's staying and hanging out, and making sure that none of these Skaven are feeling scared,
Yeah, so basically what I imagine he is measuring out there, so basically he was just measuring out from the warp seer there towards Gotrek.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering whether he thinks he could get close enough to cast the warp seer spell.
the Warp Gale, I think, would definitely hamper Gotrek's ability to get around the board.
Yeah, so that basically halves his run and charge.
Yep.
So he, as we know, his weakness is being a slow little dwarf, so he only moves 4 inches, but if he can have his movement halved and his charging halved, it's definitely going to make it a bit harder for him to get across the table and possibly wipe out half of his army.
I'd be interested to see if Gotrek could wipe out a unit of Clean Rats. I reckon he potentially could.
Yeah, how big of a unit you're talking there, Josh?
40.
Big 40?
Yeah, big 4-0. I reckon he could do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah, that's obviously makes a lot of sense. Looking at how Corey's deployed here, I'm really curious whether he's forgotten about the springy dinghy, because there is a lot of space behind his lines. So
there is, and he's not holding those back objectives either.
Yeah, so I'm curious whether he's just going to fan out and sort of make a bit of space there. Because obviously Dave Kerr, looking at Corey's list, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drops, and Dave could be a 2 to 4 drop. So, well, obviously more if he individually deploys. But yeah, I'm interested to see. I think whether Dave's going to give him first turn, or whether Dave sort of wants to come in and make some impact before some buffs are up. I would imagine he's probably going to want to try and make a bit of an impact before Corey can get his defences up, I would imagine. Trying to maybe potentially alpha strike in some executioners with the springy dinghy, fight in the combat phase, and then fight in the hero phase, and then fight again in the combat phase. Yeah, like getting rid of a Vermin Lord or a Screaming Bell could be massive in this game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, so as soon as I'm pretty sure that Screaming Bell can offer some just not running away from battle shock. So if you get rid of that, that's
spells.
Whew.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got the obviously he has the Screaming Bell has the Warp Gale spell as well. So that could definitely obviously slow down Gotrek. So getting rid of that would be fantastic. The immune to battle shock abilities as well, and then as well as just getting rid of another hero as well would be fantastic. No, as we saw in our game 3 yesterday, you can roll the occasional double 6 and get a free Vermin Lord. So
yeah, definitely. So the Darkling Coven is completely deployed. So as we can see, with that large group of executioners up the top of the screen there, on Dave's side, he has left that gap again. So I'm guessing his tactic, by the looks of nearly every game, is to have the little springy dinghy sort of in there and shooting them across the table.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think it really depends. I think it depends what happens in Dave's first turn. Will really depend on who has sort of the advantage here. To be honest, I honestly feel like it's Corey's game to lose. And Dave's definitely at a bit of a disadvantage here, I feel. But it's one of those things where we won't know until a bit more of the game sort of transpires. Thoughts, Gemma? Thinking the same, or?
Yeah, I am thinking the same, and I've just been told that the unit that Corey just put down was the unit of Giselle, so that's what he was measuring out there, is just to see whether he could probably get a range of those executioners up there, because obviously we have seen in the past that those executioners are quite a heavy-hitting unit.
Absolutely.
So he probably wants to look at destroying those as soon as possible, and he is now looking at deploying his 30 acolytes.
Yeah.
So they are another big danger to the Darkling Covens. So
absolutely, definitely two massive threats for Dave to deal with. Would be definitely the acolytes. The Giselles can hurt. So yeah, it's a whole lot of nope, basically.
Yeah, and he does have a large unit of acolytes there, so he sort of looks like he was measuring on either side, just so if he spreads them out a little bit, whether he can sort of get range on either side there.
Yeah, I guess it's like when you, like for me personally, when I'm looking at units like that, I want to be in a flexible position where I can, obviously, if my threats are coming to your left and right, you kind of want to be in a position where you're not overly committed to one side.
One side, yeah.
So then you can sort of, when you're in a nice central location, you can sort of adjust yourself. And basically put yourself where you need to be. So makes a lot of sense. The deployment makes sense. I'm wondering whether Corey leaving a big gap in the bottom of the table here, whether that's intentional or whether that's potentially a mistake. But we'll find out. We'll definitely find out. So looking in this bottom corner here, Like, that's enough room to get 30 executioners. So.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
So we'll see what happens, whether that's a trap or whether that's intentional. Yeah, we'll see what happens. What do you guys reckon? Who is at who do you think is going to take this one out, guys? Do you think that the Master can rely on his amazing piloting skills and pull it out of the bag, I should say, or do you think that the Skaven would be too powerful for this small army that's just about to jump into a new free city? So. But yeah, guys, that's looking like deployment's pretty much wrapped up. So yeah, looks
and Dave is just trying to make the decision whether he's going to take first turn or not.
Ooh, alrighty, I guess we'll have to see. What about you, chat? Who do you think? Who do you think should take first turn here? Should Dave give it away to the Skaven, or should he try and get in there and risk a double turn to try and make an impact on this army? It's going to be tight.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of the acolytes are in range at the moment to shoot anything, so he's just going to have to deal with the Jezzails if he does give away the turn.
Absolutely.
So it's just a bit of a risk because those Jezzails are definitely going to be shooting at those executioners, I feel.
Definitely. Yeah, it's one of those things as well, even if he does get into that side of things as well, if he doesn't wipe them out immediately, he's going to have to try and run some elves across the board to get to those Jezzails. So yeah, there's lots of threats, lots of things to think about. He doesn't want to overcommit, but at the same time, yeah, far out. It's hard. It's definitely tough. He's still got like 80, 100 clean rats that he has to chew through as well. So
yeah, that's exactly right. That does make it hard.
Cool. So jumping back into the chat. Handshake is made, so we're going to get this game underway. Jumping into chat. Big Sean again. Scorched Earth Game 5 should be fun. Yeah, absolutely. Tough scenario. New objectives and how it all works will definitely be tough. Think Skaven wins over army strength, but we know how good Dave. Yeah, correct. So Corey, a bit of backstory on Corey, real quick. Actually, let's find out who's taking first turn. And,
so Dave ended up giving the first turn away to Corey, and he just rolled, that first dice roll there was to see how many sparks he got, and unfortunately he just got an extra one.
Only one? Okay. So just to answer your question, Big Sean, Corey Papanimi has come from a competitive video game background, used to play back in the day, or just jumped into Warhammer just more to get into some more social interaction and everything like that, which is cool, understandable. Definitely, there's definitely been a lot of people with a similar story. Basically got into AOS, started with Nurgle, basically played a Blight Cyst, or a, what's the other cyst again?
Plague Cyst.
Plague Cyst, sorry. Because I completely forgot. I felt so rude. I played Corey back in the day at one of the Brishammers, and I remember playing him when he mentioned it, but I was playing him with my death, and sort of progressed a little bit with his Nurgle. He was very open in saying that he enjoys playing what's strong, has no problems with picking up the S-tier armies, because obviously that competitive side of him is interested in doing well, and jumped into the Skaven. So that's a little bit of info on Corey. I think he's on the socials, not super active or anything like that, but he's a school teacher, and just a nice gentleman from what we can see. So.
No worries. So shit's getting a bit real during the game now. Dave's shoes are off. First time this weekend he's taking his shoes off, so it's going down. So Mystic Shield is being cast, I believe.
It's all happening. I think it's kind of smart in a way where, realistically his threats are some magic. It's not like he has to deal with a vortex or anything like that, and some Jezzails. So whether he buffs them up, I'm not sure. But yeah, Corey's got to be smart with his buffs, because obviously he takes a lot of damage from more warp power. Also the Vigor Dust Injector as well, but he's also got Deranged Inventor, so that could be just a bit of buff until he really needs those extra buffs. So yeah. Jumping back into chat, Big Sean, far more detail than expected, love it, no worries, man. Danny Paints, welcome to the stream, man. Can I get lists easily somewhere? I know that Dan AOS Shorts has all the info, LLV will be getting all that info as well, so I'd imagine something should be going up on AOS Shorts in the near future. Alternatively, if you are willing to make an account on Down Under Pairings, if you go to the event, there will be a list tab, and you can access all the lists there as well, man. So there is a few options, just depends on how motivated you are, basically. So,
yeah, virtually. So
back to the game.
We have some updates. So we have got a Skaventide versus mixed order going on in the sort of the centre region of the tournament, and Mr. Nathan is the Skaventide player, and he has got some balls because he has basically said that he is going to kill a unit of 30 Phoenix Guard in the first turn.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see if he ends up getting that. So we'll have to keep that updated.
Good luck.
And see whether that actually happens.
Yeah, 4 up is definitely not easy.
They're gonna have to. He's gonna have to do a lot of damage to those guys. Better take that whole unit off. But on the actual stream itself, so that Warpseer, the Warp Grail spell has gone off on Gotrek. So basically, he is halving his charge and run. So little man himself is slowed down, which is quite important because if he can slow him down from getting across the table, he's virtually doing nothing. So it's one of the only ways that you can potentially stop him from taking half your army off the board, because once he's in combat, he is doing some damage. So, hey, look, Corey looks like he has moved up some of his units. So he looks like he might be moving up some clan rats just to form a massive line across the table there, holding some of the objectives. And they are big units. They are units of 40, so he is just trying to quickly scurry these little rats up there and have some table coverage, basically. So there is a lot of wounds in this list that he has got the advantage with, but being rats, they're not exactly very resilient either. So he does have a lot of wounds for Dave to chew through.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're not exactly resilient. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes in the next few turns.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, there's definitely some damage output here. But it's crazy. I guess it's one of those things. If Corey potentially mispositions stuff, or if something's out of position. I know that Dave is an absolute master at, excuse the pun, a master at picking up mistakes, positional errors, and making the most out of people's mistakes. So yeah, definitely, it's keen to see if Dave can maximise, or whether Corey has a watertight deployment and watertight game plan. So I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, guys, super. Yeah, far out. It's not easy. Definitely not an easy one for Dave. So
no, he is on a little bit of an uphill battle to start off with, but we all know how Dave plays his games. He can bring it back from the brink.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a great player. Jumping back into chat, Danny Paints. Yeah, no worries, dude. All good. If there's any other info you need, feel free to sing out. If there's anything that we know off the top of our heads, happy to help there too. Probably should update the CPs as well, because Corey will have more than one CP now, unless I missed something earlier.
No, there has been no information on that, so he will have gone up to 2. He has got about 100 clan rats just strewn across the sort of the centre of the table there, so that is a lot for Dave to get through.
I guess the interesting thing to think about in this scenario as well is, like, realistically, like, all you need to do is cap one of your opponent's objectives and burn it, and hold all of yours, and you can still win the game. So I guess it's interesting when people think you got to cap every single one, and I think a lot of people potentially look at scenarios potentially the wrong way. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So but yeah, jumping back into chat.
Hey, LLV!
LLV is back. The calculator wizard, stat master, the grand marshal of all numbers known to man. Welcome back, man. Skaven's still underpointed. Yeah, probably, man. I guess whether that's a move by Games Workshop to push some armies and sell some armies that haven't performed well on the sales side of things in the past. I'm just tinfoil hatting right now. But yeah, you're right. There is an absolute crap load of bodies.
Definitely.
Again, I'm just thinking here, like, is this a mistake? Is leaving these big gaps in these spaces, are they mistakes, or is that intentional, or what's happening here, Corey? Because the springy dinghy can come down, but I guess at the same time he does need to cast that. So also really interested to hear or see what happens if that's a mistake or whether that's an intentional thing there. Any updates, Gemma?
Yeah, so we have some interesting information. We have James, who is playing a Griscore list, so he actually has 5 Terrorgeist in that list. He has
Sorry, I just threw up. Sorry.
Just to be safe, he's just decided to charge 3 Terrorgeist into Gotrek. So, you're just not sure. 1's probably not enough. 2, probably still not enough. 3 might still not be enough.
Yep.
But he's just wants to see whether he can more attack, though, I suppose, and get some mortal wounds off on Gotrek. So if he does roll some 6s on there, Gotrek's probably in a little bit of trouble, but we'll see what happens. If he survives and gets rid of a couple of those Terrorgeists, I'm going to have a little giggle.
Yeah,
I will have a little giggle to myself.
At our practice day that we had at Battle Station last week, James charged Gotrek with 3 Terrorgeists as well, and Gotrek killed 1 Terrorgeist, but did get taken down by the other 2. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear what happens there. LLV in the chat. We'll never know, man. It's one of those things where I guess we just got to focus on the things we can control in regards to whether it is some poor design or some playtesting issues. We just got to deal with the cards we're dealt. Who turned up today, Clint or Cliff? I believe Clint is still here at the moment. I believe Cliff is still riding his Abyssal Terror and painting some squigs. So that's where we're at the moment. Looks like Gemma's got some updates, so we'll pass it back to Gemma. What's cracking?
All right, so the Jezzails are firing into the Executioners, and they have been sparked. So there's 2 lots of mortals and 6 saves, I believe.
Oh, and they're 2 damage a pop, guys. So every one that goes through can definitely remove a fair bit of threat there.
Well, it looks like it's just removed pretty much half the unit of Executioners there.
Well, that's what I mean. If he fails all those saves, that is 12. So plus 2 mortal wounds, so that's 14. That could be potentially dead. That is effectively the half the unit gone. That's scary.
Yes, and so just going back to the Terrorgeist into Gotrek. So James just rolled 3 6s. Off one Terrorgeist.
Oh, and he can go again as well. That's just terrifying.
Yeah, so he's straight up 18 mortal wounds. We'll see if Gotrek can roll some 3s there and survive that. Otherwise, he might have overdid it with the 3.
Yep, absolutely.
But he can only take 1 a turn, actually. So we're rereading his rules, so he's going to still be there.
Yes, but still, that's insane.
one each attack. Sorry, I mean to say I can't even speak English.
That's okay. It's been a long weekend. So
it has been a long weekend.
If we do make any mistakes, guys, obviously we'll endeavour to try and get things as right as possible. But in our sort of stressed and tired minds, we might say things that we're not supposed to. That could happen. Our apologies there. If we do miss anything, or if there's anything that is incorrect, by all means, chat, please feel free to correct us. We'll do our best. Sounds like there's some more info from the table there, Gemma.
So basically what just happened is they've forgotten that Dave could have a triumph. And so they rolled it out, and it was reroll saves, and he could have just used that on that unit of Executioners. No. So unfortunately, that's how the game goes. If you don't remember stuff, it can be brutal, as we've just experienced.
Oh no! So Luke just remembered his Triumph and LLV last Brishammer. So Brishammer, being the amazing events that they are, always like to give their attendees some fat loot. In the past, it's been objective markers, 6-inch measurers with some 3-inch and 1-inch and everything like that. They've also had little terrain tokens, so you can just roll it up and have a written down acrylic marker there. At the last Brishammer, we had really beautifully printed, really high quality Triumph cards, including all the new ones. So basically all the new ones with all the old ones on a really nice card that's branded with the Brishammer branding, and they look really, really nice. So I'd say that's probably one of those.
No worries, and as we can see, the ringy dinghy has been cast, and it is behind the Executioners.
Where would you put the springy? Where would you be putting them, Gemma?
It's hard because You're going to have to get through so many clan rats.
But would you
me.
be teleporting behind the lines, potentially?
I probably would be, because I think the threats are is the shooting at the moment. As we just saw, they took off half the unit of executioners. So you probably want to get rid of some of the shooting, but again, if it's an objective game, it's a very hard choice, because those clan rats can just keep pushing forward, and because they have the bodies, they will take those objectives off Dave, because he has an elite army and not many bodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you can, I don't know, it's hard, because if you can prevent them from getting across the table, that's probably a big thing.
Yep.
But you're also risking being shot by a very good shooting units from behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? What's your...
I kind of would feel motivated to potentially pop them in behind the Jezzails and get rid of some ranged threat. But then you put yourself in a position where they're probably just going to get absolutely blown away by the Acolytes the next time Corey has an opportunity to shoot. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess it's one of those things where you kind of want to wait a little bit, since you can't burn in turn 1. Maybe that might be waiting to do its thing later on, because once the Springy Dinghy is on the board, unless it gets dispelled, it's there. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. It's just a one-trick pony unless you use it again.
But yeah, guys, looking just a little bit of info on the event. 47 players from different parts of Toowoomba is who's attending here. We've got some locals from Toowoomba, we've got people from the Gold Coast, people from the Sunshine Coast, Ipswich, and the Greater Brisbane area. So some absolutely great support from the Queensland community. As we said heaps of times, Queensland has an amazing scene, definitely all banding together to create really good events and support each other. So yeah, really great turnout for this one here.
Yeah, excellent. So just a quick update on the Terrorgeist versus Gotrek down on the tables there. So basically he double piled in, he had enough command points to double pile in with 2 of those Terrorgeists, but he only needed to do that with 1 because it was enough to kill Gotrek. So one Terrorgeist was able to take him down. So
550 points, 520 points,
yeah.
catch you later.
Yep, so it's funny because it just goes to show that you sort of have to overcommit to see if you can kill that little bastard, and then obviously just one Terrorgeist doing the job there.
Yeah.
So all 3 of them are in the one spot, but they are fast enough to be able to get across the table anywhere else. So
absolutely,
a little moral victory for James there.
Definitely. I was having a chat with Paris, Joshua Bonza, who was playing on the stream Game 3 yesterday against Dino, and he was kicking himself that he split up some of his attacks, because he could have potentially killed something that survived and in turn created lots of problems for him later on down in the game. And I remember hearing the advice from a 40k podcast saying, kill what you can kill. Sometimes it's better to know that something's completely dead than potentially splitting up attacks and being like, crap, I really, really shouldn't have done that. So yeah, I guess it's one of those things. Unless you are a Rain Man mathematician that can work out the probability and the chances of everything, yeah, sometimes it's better just to make sure you can get rid of the threats that you know that you can get rid of.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, updates. Gemma.
So basically, I haven't got any updates from the tables yet, but just from the stream itself, it looks like Dave is pushing up that Sorceress on Black Dragon. Yep. So just remembering from last game from before, it is -2 to hit.
Yes.
So those rats...
probably going to do nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're going to have a hard time, and I think it's going to do a lot of damage to those guys there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what the potential damage or the damage potential is on a Sorceress on Dragon, but I would imagine... yeah, it could definitely start shredding through and reducing those numbers of clan rats. So we'll see see what happens there, I should say, because obviously the executioners are in, so they're going to start wrecking face, and then we've also got the sorceress on dragon as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Good to see what happens there. Jumping back into chat, Luke, Corey's list is wrecked. Yeah, absolutely. Some people already know, obviously, a very, very close list to Dan Brewer's. Shout out Dan Brewer from Clan Filth down in Sydney. Definitely a super, super strong list, absolutely. Retsef, Gotrek's OP. He is pretty crazy, but he is pretty great. LLV, how's Dino doing? He unfortunately went down to Corey in the last round. round. So if Dino, I was chatting with Dino and Corey, if Dean won a priority roll, he would have beat Corey, and it could have been our dream matchup of Mixed Destruction and Darkling Covens on table 1, but wasn't meant to be. So Dino will be not too far away, I would imagine.
No, it's just to the right of me actually playing against Daughters of Cain.
Yeah, so playing Daughters of Cain, so that should be a tough matchup for him as well, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, maybe some snowballs might get rid of some hags. Like we saw in the last game, power creep is, or a stronger army isn't going to keep Dino away. It definitely has plenty of, definitely has the potential to do super well. Back in chat, Gotrek is fine. Wes, the lover of anything dwarf, can understand that comment there for sure. But yeah, Gemma, what do we got? What's happening? Any info for us?
Alright, so the dragon's breathing fire on the clan rats, so we'll see if he can do some damage there. But back to some previous information where Mr. Nathan, who was playing Skaventide, said that he was going to take out that unit of Phoenix Guard.
Yep.
He did.
He did?
He did. So
holy moly.
He got cogs off. Thankful got across the table and did 57 mortal wounds.
What? With what?
With his, I presume, with his shooting.
Holy
shooting.
That is amazing.
Four dice for each, 4 ups doing mortal wounds.
Oh, he was using Thankful.
Yeah, Thankful. Thankful got across
so
the
he had
table.
all the Warfire projectors and 4 dice for each one. Wow, that is insane.
Did 57 mortal wounds and killed that unit of Phoenix Guard in the first turn, like he said he was going to.
Yeah, so just pop over there and catch you later. Thanks for coming. That's probably a pretty, how many? 30?
I think that was a unit of 30 Phoenix Guard, yeah.
So that'd be 360 points just straight down the drain. Wow, that's insane. Yeah, absolutely insane. So amazing. So yeah, Phoenix Guard down the toilet, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. So to do 57.
Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I guess it's one of those things where there's not many instances where 4 warp 5 projectors is really needed, to be honest. But I guess in that instance, when you can kill what you can kill, might as well.
Yeah, especially when they got some like 4 up after save as well. So, but when you have that many going through,
yeah, absolutely,
it's going to be hard.
Absolutely, shred most things for sure.
So I'm wondering, I haven't. Did Corey end up taking any of those rats off from the fire, or did the dragon breathe fire and did nothing?
I think that I haven't seen any casualties be removed, but I guess we'll see. We'll find out soon from our table boss. Looks like some charges are being made. The dragon's not going in. I'm wondering whether he failed his charge or potentially he just decided not to go in for the time being. I guess we'll find out. Executioners, it looks like they're rolling some dice. Yeah, we'll see how we go.
And it looks like...
Or it could be some shooting, actually, because have the
Dark Shards shot? No, I haven't heard of the Dark Shards shooting yet, so it could still be... Yeah, it is, actually.
Dark Spears, Dark Shards, Executioners, Dread Spears. Yeah, so much dread.
There's so much darkness, I suppose.
Man, I'm in darkness.
Darkness,
it reminds me of Dave Chappelle and Charlie Murphy. Yeah, just the darkness. The darkness. Anyways, that's irrelevant. Just jumping back into chat. Ham is heading home. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. Ham was kind enough to buy bust for our round 4 this morning, and Nat, a Toowoomba local, has come in to buy bust for our last round here today. So big shout out to them. Ham definitely an MVP with so much support and help for this event. So thanks, mate. Really appreciate your time. Love your bloody work, mate.
Alright, so as we can see, the dragon has gotten into combat. It successfully made a 6-inch charge, which was more than enough for it to get into those clan rats. We also have, obviously the executioners have gotten in, and we also have a unit of Blackguard that have made a 10-inch charge. So at the top of the table near that gnaw hole, they made a 10-inch charge and have gotten into combat as well. So Dave certainly is still getting his large charges when he needs it.
Yeah.
So
Classic Dave. Classic Dave. An interesting thing to think about as well, guys, is obviously that massive unit of acolytes is in that corner, but we have to remember as well that he is neg 2 to hit, so potentially that dragon might be safe from those acolytes until some buffs are applied. So Corey could potentially chuck on more war power. So that one will more war power, obviously reroll hits and wounds. He could Vigor Dust inject him as well for +1 to hit, and he can also get his Arch Warlock to stand near them as well, to be from Deranged Inventor to give him +1 to hit with a 12-inch bubble as well. So he could negate that neg 2, but whether he wants to try and make sure these Jezzails are picking off key targets or not, I'm not sure. So we'll have to wait and see.
Definitely. So Dave has chosen the Sorceress on Black Dragon to go first in combat. So it looks like he's only got 3 dice there, so I wonder if he's going with the more...
The teeths. The big sharp teeths.
The big sharp teeth. Nom 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 nom.
Absolutely. Eating some delicious rats. So they're not the plague monk, so he's not going to get an upset stomach. So it's just a matter of absolutely shredding as many as he can. Place your bets. How many clan rats can this sorceress kill?
Well, at the moment, the jaw attack only did 1 damage, so not a lot at the moment.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Maybe the dice are warming up, so we'll see what happens.
I have noticed he's using Brishammer dice, so usually they roll off tap.
Yeah, Brishammer dice are known for being extremely rolling hot, but then mine have had occasions where they've rolled not so hot at all. So I guess life's all about balance, so it's one of those things, unfortunately.
Definitely.
But jumping back into chat, who have we got in the chat? Just would love to know who you are, if you're comfortable telling us where you're from, if you're doing any hobby, what are we working on, what's happening this weekend. Would love to hear from you guys. Always interested to see who's hanging out with us. But yeah, guys, say g'day.
Yes, so I'm pretty sure 7 clan rats just died from that combat.
Yep, so not as much as he probably could, but that's okay. Jumping back into the chat, Big Sean gave you 3 of them. They're cooked. Yeah, they're quite good. If you got the yellow ones, they're really good. Ken the Plumber 81. Hello, Ken. How are you? Thanks for jumping in. Whereabouts are you from, Ken? Are you an Australian, UK, or overseas? Working on any hobby at the moment, or what's cracking? Fill us in. Keep us up to date.
All right, so on to another table update. So on table 22, we have a Khorne versus Stormcast battle going on. And at the moment, the Khorne has just launched itself across the table and pinned the Stormcast in their own deployment. They have not been able to get out of their deployment zone at the moment.
Shit.
So
Oh, shit.
It is looking dangerous over there. The Khorne are hungry.
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, Ballina. Woo woo.
Yeah, nice. Hello, Ken. Yeah, the yellow ones are good, eh, Sean? Radzilla 666, great coverage, watching at home. Brad from Toowoomba. Hey, Brad, how you doing, man? But yeah, guys, let us know how the stream is going. If we've got anything that's not looking great from your end, if there's anything that we can fix, give us a yell. I just noticed we probably should update some scoring as well. So Corey would have scored 4 in his first round, so we'll update that as well, and we'll update Dave's CP. So a little bit not on the ball right here, right now, but that's okay. It's round 5. We're pretty tired. We're doing our best here, and yeah, we'll be sweet.
We'll get it together.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I think just the typical Australian sort of outlook and thinking with a lot of things is, yeah, she'll be right. Don't even worry about it. So.
As we're Australian, we're so laid back, it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't.
Hey, Brad. Oh, mate, you're a legend. Thanks for coming in and dropping in and helping us out, being a buy-buster for a couple of games and also helping us with the paint scores.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
big
much appreciated. Yep.
Yeah, huge shout out to Brad. Also, another one of our buy-busters. Really appreciate your time, mate. Definitely coming and hanging out. And he is a beautiful man with some really nice painted flesh eater courts, some really nice painted Nurgle. Yeah, Brad's definitely a great little hobbyist as well. Ken the Plumber, Stream UI looks amazing. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. That's all thanks to Gemma. Gemma's done a really great job in the lead up to here with the help of Travis and a few other really nice people. We all got it together. Primes, you guys have done great. Don't play down your efforts. Hey, man. You don't tell me how to live my life, all right? So,
thanks,
Sean.
Sean.
I'm going to play it down. You'll never be the boss of me, ever.
Don't tell me what to do. All right.
Back at the table, though, looking at what's going on.
So it looks like that front unit of clan rats must have been the smaller unit, I'm guessing. Otherwise, he's piled in. He moved 3 inches up on the dragon side.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, just chewing through, trying to get some wounds through on that dragon. Yeah, it's going to be yeah, like you said, Gemma. I don't think without any buffs or anything crazy, they're probably not going to do a whole lot. But I guess it's one of those things like denying space and stopping guys doing from what they need to do is definitely not a bad thing either. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So lots and lots of dice are getting rolled here. I'm guessing this is the executioners now, or potentially the dread spears. Blackguard potentially. Sorry. We'll have a look at what happens here. Obviously, with Darkling Covens, them all hanging out with each other, buff each other, so some cool little synergies there. Yeah, we're definitely interested to see how things go there, for sure.
Alright, so table update. We have a Slanesh versus Khorne, the big Khorne dragon himself, Mr. Vorgoroth. He's out there eating through some Slanesh. Unfortunately, there isn't much Slanesh left. They are suffering from heavy losses, but they have outmaneuvered the dragon since it is only one model, and are a fair way ahead on points.
Oh, jeez.
So just because you lose majority of your army doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to lose the game.
This is true. This is true. But yeah, like obviously checking everything out,
doing some measuring,
absolutely,
seeing what can get in combat.
Probably like staying out of combat, I would imagine, is probably the more interesting thing there. So jumping back into chat, can the plumber remind Dave Kerr's executioners have 1 inch range? I'm sure he has learnt from his mistakes there. Ham, go Hayden, absolutely. Shout out Elf Bro. If you like battle reports, short form battle reports, Hayden is on YouTube. Elf Bro does a lot of content and different things with different people around. So if you're interested in doing a battle report and on the southeast side of Brisbane, get in touch with Hayden. I'm sure he would love to have you on and play some Warhammer and jump off on his YouTube channel. So how are we looking, Gemma?
Yeah, so those guys are actually measuring to see how many of each of their units was around that objective to see who controls it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jumping back into the chat, yeah, I agree, Horace. Bit of a low blow, but that's okay. Razor Tree came in there late. Actually, Covens, or is it Cities of Sigma? Razor Tree, the list submission was prior to Cities of Sigma being released, so Cities of Sigma is not legal at this tournament. So this one is 100% Darkling Covens Allegiance. So absolutely cool to see them on the board. Don't really get to see them very often, but it's definitely great to see them doing well. Just a testament of a good pilot can definitely make any army work. Horus, yeah, mistakes happen, man. It's one of those things. But I think Dave obviously showing good character and good form, just making sure that the right thing was done there. So I think that's a testament to some good character. Razor Tree, okay, awesome. Battalion shenanigans. Yeah, absolutely, man. We have a Thrall Warhost, so yeah, definitely some shenanigans at play here.
No worries. So we have had a command point being spent by Corey. So he has spent one from the warps here to stop those rats from running away.
Yep, good call.
And Skaven have just one priority as well. So
oh, jeez.
I would be...
That's no good.
Thinking he's taking the turn. Doesn't look like he's giving it away.
Yeah, it makes sense, really. Skaven are in that position where they... yeah, can potentially put a great deal of hurt on. So, yeah, I can understand where Corey's happened there. Looks like Dave's obviously scored the 4 points there as well, so I'll update that too.
Yeah, so that objective up the top there that they were measuring, they must have just been either Corey's kept it or he hasn't had more there to take it off him. And just remembering that you can't burn it in the first turn.
Correct.
So from here on in, it might get a little bit more exciting to see if any of them are going to get burnt. And you can't burn your own, you can only burn your opponent's.
Correct. So different to Better Parts of Valor, where you can burn everything at any time. Personally love that scenario. Lots of thinking, lots of like math in your head to work out when is opportune and good times in order to spend those. But yeah, Scorched Earth obviously got amended in 2019, so you can't burn in your first turn, and you can only burn your objectives, as Gemma mentioned. So yeah, definitely good. Jumping back into chat, Wes, it's because he's a good bloke, typical Mango. Hey man, can't argue with that. Ham, go Corey, Simple Math Club, baby. Yeah, probably a good little segue. We have a huge amount of Queensland teams here this weekend. We've got Hammer Hub, Heralds of War, League of Gamers Ipswich, the Mango Mafia, Savage Northman, Simple Math Club, Team Pat, the Failed Charge, the Silver Horde, and Bruce Hammer. So yeah, a bunch of different clubs representing their colours and their teams, and yeah, doing really well. So yeah, Gemma's just getting some more updates, so I'm sure Gemma will chime in when we've got some more stuff.
Being Skaven's turn, he's decided to cast Warp Gale again onto Gotrek, I believe, and it went off.
Oh.
So Gotrek is once again
hanging out.
Yeah, he's just half.
2-inch move.
Yeah, 2-inch run and charge. How do you like that? So he's just going to stay in the middle of the table and just oversee everything, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be just yelling at these dirty rats.
I just feel like he would be full of anger.
Well, he's a Dwarden, so he'll be absolutely hating the fact that magic's being cast, B, that it's cast on him, and C, that there's just some filthy Skaven, like...
Yeah, and he can't get to them. And the fact that he can't get to them, I could just imagine his rage, he's grunting, he's making lots of noises because he's just full of anger.
Yeah, I reckon there would be some interesting words being flung and some insults being thrown at that Gracier on top of that screaming bell.
Slow track, I like it.
Jumping into chat, I imagine Gotrek yelling at both armies. Yeah, potentially. Filthy elves. Oh, well, I suppose he hung out with Felix, so Felix was an elf. Razor, Retsef, Slow Trek, absolutely, as Gemma said. Razor Tree, definitely. I'll definitely agree, that's a good one. So, Gemma's just getting some more updates, so I'm sure we'll hear from that in a second. What are you thinking, guys? Is it looking like Skaven have potentially got this, or are we thinking that Dave's still got some time to shine? What are we thinking?
You asking me a question? Because I was just listening.
Asking chat. But
I asked in the chat.
I
Okay.
think your opinion's obviously very relevant.
My opinion means nothing.
It's not what I said. Twisting my words, Gemma. Twisting my words.
All right. So I do have an update from that Khorne and Stormcast. So originally, if you didn't hear, the Khorne had basically run across the table and pinned the Stormcast army into their own deployment zone.
Yes.
So they haven't managed to get out of their deployment zone.
That's not great.
So the Stormcast have actually managed to kill a Bloodthirster. So they've actually created a little bit of room for themselves to possibly get out.
Room,
but I'm not sure whether they will, because they have a lot to think about if they've just got Bloodthirsted in the face.
Yeah, that's not where I would potentially like to be.
No.
But that's okay.
No.
That's okay.
I'd be a bit scared if I was a Stormcast gentleman with about 4 Bloodthirsters. Or lady, yeah. Units.
Storm Bros.
Storm Bros.
Storm Broesses, so...
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those things, though. Like, from a narrative perspective, they just get sent back to Azir and get reforged, so it's not the end of the world.
Just lose a little bit more of their saneness. They come back a little bit less...
A little bit different, a little bit more...
Psycho? I don't know. Probably
desensitized is probably a better word.
Desensitized, yeah.
Desensitized to everything in the world.
Lost.
That's okay. Well, that's completely fine. Looking at the table here, obviously not a huge amount more has sort of happened yet. But yeah, let's wait and see. So Corey potentially moving. Oh, so the Warpseer is jumping out of his protection here. Obviously I'll have to double check exactly how the Narmors work. Norhols. Jeez Louise, there's Narmors, Norhols, so many Nors and Nars.
So I think basically you have to have a hero within either 3 inches or 6 inches, and you have to have the unit wholly within 6 inches of a Norhol to be able to use its ability to virtually teleport or come out of another Norhol. You have to be within... when you come out of the Norhol, you have to be within 6 inches of that Nor hole as well,
Yep.
and more than 9 inches away from enemy units.
I'm really interested here. I'm not sure where Gotrek is exactly, whether he's sort of in the middle of the board there or not.
Yeah.
Um,
He's sort of left
but
centre of the dinghy.
yes. So I'm just wondering if that's a wise move there by Corey. You know, there was a 12-inch charge before, and we've seen that Gotrek can get up and at him. I guess he's half charge as well. So realistically, the most that he can be is 6 inches away for him to make a charge. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, so obviously he's just seen that there's only a couple of guys on that objective there, so he's thinking it's probably going to be easy to take, possibly burn or hold. If he burns it, yeah, it's hard because Gotrek probably will have to go in that direction regardless, because that Warpseer will probably go for the back objective afterwards.
Yes.
So he's made Dave. He's going to have to make a decision now, virtually either go
hard.
backwards.
Yeah, definitely hard. I think I think that's probably like a good trick, and definitely like a good thing in this scenario. If you can set the pace and if you can apply pressure to your opponent, they're not focusing on getting your objectives. They're too busy trying to focus on keeping theirs. So it's definitely one of those things where setting the pace, setting the pressure can definitely be a good thing, and definitely what you would prefer, the position you prefer to be in, for sure.
Oh, definitely. So it looks like he's just measuring out where he can put the acolytes. So it looks like he's going over to that side of the table a little bit more.
Yep, trying to get rid of some executioners and some more battle lines. So.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. This is going to be tough. Definitely tough. But yeah, chat, what's going on? What's happening this Sunday? Let us know what's cracking. Would love to know who's in our chat. What are you doing? Let us know how the stream's looking on your end. Obviously, there's a fair bit of light on the left-hand side of the board, so looking a little bit washed out, but obviously we can't really do too much about that. But yeah, guys, keep us in the loop. Let us know how things are going. Let us know what you guys think. Who's going to take this one? Skaventide, or can the Covens come back and reign supreme? But yeah, guys, keep us on the loop.
Yeah, so on table 19, there's a Squigs versus Seraphon going down, and unfortunately the Squigs just got shot to pieces by the Seraphon.
Oh, jeez.
And they have been tabled.
Oh, no.
So that is all over down there on table 19.
All over Red Rover. Mm-hmm. That's all she wrote.
Poor Squigs.
Poor Squigs. That's what happens sometimes, unfortunately. So
yeah. Unfortunately, I've been in that boat where I've just been shot to pieces by Paddy, actually. At the finals at Mount Gravatt, I was playing Feck and he was playing KO back in the day.
Yep.
And unfortunately, all the objectives landed. It was Star Strike. They all landed on the same side of the table.
Absolutely.
And he was lucky enough to deploy his whole army on that side.
Oh, good.
So he did not spread out at all.
Yep.
And he landed. Yeah. So he had a whole advantage. I had to try and come across and get it off him.
Yep.
And try and live through the fire. And flesh eater courts don't like being shot.
Look, if there's flesh eaters getting shot, I'm okay with that, to be honest. So that's what you get, Gemma. So sucked in.
Yes.
So
yes.
Go Pad, go KO, go Skyhawks.
Thank you.
Jumping into chat, Razor Tree stream looks great. Some community is crew is solid. Love the table updates. Good job. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. Much appreciated. Where's up the lizards? Get some Seraphon love. Absolutely. That was one of my actual first armies back in 7th edition. I had lots and lots of Sotek Saurus, and I also had Krika. Yeah, lizards are sweet. Lizards are super cool. Big Sean still painting Stormcast for City GT. How's it all going, Sean? Are we getting through it, or what's going on? Red Seth, I must admit a little sympathy for you, and I have little sympathy for you and your flesh eater claws. Yeah, Red Seth.
Oh.
Yeah, good on you. You're on my side. You picked the right side, Red Seth. Absolutely. So it looks like some acolytes are gearing up to throw some poison wind globes at these poor executioners and potential black guard. This could be a bit of a struggle, I feel, if he can get enough shots off here. Horus, Seraphon on my first AOS army. Love them. Yeah, absolutely, man. Love them the most. Big Sean getting there slowly, but it's my own fault for leaving it this late. Look, if you are not sleep deprived and haven't played any practice game in the lead up to a tournament to get your army painted, are you even playing a tournament? Are you even a hobbyist? That's what I need to know. So, Fester is just dirty, he's backed up the wrong horse. Potentially. Blackheart's Reva, nice work, guys. I was wondering what camera gear you use for twitching. At the moment, we're using it's basically like a webcam, like a 4K webcam. Just some basic bits and bobs, just for like a boom and everything like that. And then we're just running it off just a good laptop. Sound gear wise, yeah, basically just some mics, a small mixer, and everything else is just done through Twitch. So yeah, it's doing pretty good.
Yeah, so basically the webcam itself is a Logitech Brio. If you wanted to research those at all, they are quite good. This is the first time we've been using it, so I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we just went to your local like JB Hi-Fi or Harvey Norman and bought just like a podcast microphone.
Yep.
And they work really well because they try not to pick up as much sound as normal microphones, and then just a laptop.
Yeah, just basically laptop. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you don't need a huge amount of tools to get started, but obviously better tools, better resources are obviously going to give you a better product. But yeah, I think it's one of those things. If you're interested in doing it, just jump in. There's so much information on the internet these days that I'm sure you'll be able to help there for sure.
Yeah, so back to the game. We have the Acolytes and the Jazales have both been sparked. And the Acolytes were shooting the Executioners, and they have managed to remove that unit, so they are no longer on the table. So
it's an uphill battle now.
It is an uphill battle for Dave, but he can pull it back. I have all the faith in Dave. He can swing games to his advantage quite well.
Absolutely.
So he has got I think he's only got his Dark... what is that unit up there that I said before? Blackguard, sorry, everybody. He's got his Blackguard still there. Whether or not they're about to get shot to, we'll find out.
Absolutely. Jumping back into chat, jumping on Tree Boys. Big Sean, no games for this list, just still be wet on the table. Absolutely. Wes, yep, Old Stacy. Do we run a mixing board? Yes, we do. Just to make it easier for basic levels on different mics. We can also adjust gain, other bits and pieces there. What's the Retsef on that? Are trees there this weekend? Yeah, there's definitely some Sylvaneth. Ryan Kruger is running Sylvaneth, as well as Michael Baker, both Toowoomba locals, both really nice guys, both beautifully painted armies as well. And Razor Tree executing Executioners, brutal, absolutely. Acolytes don't give an F at all. But
nope.
Yeah, any updates, Gemma? What do we got?
Yeah, so basically the Jazales are shooting at the Sorceress on Dragon, and it looks like it has been killed. Because he got 7 hits through on a 5+ with the Jazales.
Yep.
And that was enough to take it down with their
brutal
damage.
Wow.
So they've been sparked as well.
Oh, jeez. So, yeah, looks like it's not looking great for poor Dave here. But, we'll keep rolling out. We'll see how things are going. Back in the chat, any Phoenix Temple there? Not specific Phoenix Temple, but we were commenting before that... that unit of 30 was one shot off the board by Thankwall because he has 4 Warp 5 projectors.
Did 57 mortal wounds.
57 mortal wounds, there you go.
And took them off.
And took them off. Take them off. Take them off.
Take them off. They're not here anymore.
Absolutely. As Bush Radio would say, take them off.
So basically, he spoke the big game at the start, and he did say that he was going to take that unit off in the first turn, and I was sort of going, oh, yeah, yep, we'll see what happens. And then, bam! They got cogs off. Thankwall got across the table. 57 mortal wounds later, and those Executioners, Phoenix Temple were gone.
Brutal. Retsef, good to see some trees getting some love. Yeah, Sylvaneth are pretty sweet. Since I play Nurgle, I can't really say that I personally love them because, look, Gairan needs to be ours. We need to infest that. We need to infest the lands. Sylvaneth are scum. I probably wouldn't agree with you there, Wes. I think that they were scum, and now they're quite a lot more balanced than what they were in the old book. I think there was definitely some broken crap you could do with Dryad Spam, Winterleaf, and Woods. But yeah, I think it's a lot more balanced now.
Yeah, and look, to be honest, Retsef, I'm going to just mutually say back to you that no, I don't really. They shouldn't be getting any love. I'm going to just say, because you didn't feel sorry for me with Feck, I'm not feeling it for the Sylvaneth, to be honest. So
yeah, fine. That's fine.
I have another table update. So on table 4, so these guys are also playing in contention for a podium finish, I believe. So it's Slanesh versus Korn, Ryan Hooper versus James Lynch, and Slanesh is looking like it's in a good position. They have hurt the Korn quite a lot, and they also have 4,300 depravity points.
Yes.
No, about 43, but that's about 4,000.
43 million is essentially what you get when you kill one unit with a keeper, but that's okay. Jumping back into chat, Redsef, Scummy now more well-rounded. Yeah, I would agree. Horace, Wes, sorry. Yeah, Gemma, bat boys, bat girls. Redsef, touche, Gemma. And Wes getting on the bat boys, bat girls bandwagon. So, yep, completely. That is the war chant of Wes. I'm hoping to see some vampire teeth, and I'm hoping to see a nice big whoosh cape. I'd love to see that happen. Gemma, what do we got? What's happening? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that poor old Gotrek is going to have to do some work. Unfortunately.
But the crazy thing is that we're still in turn 2, so
a lot has happened in the last 2 turns. And I think Gotrek is, a lot of his hammer units have been taken away.
Yep.
He's really relying on the skin of his teeth now to try and bring it back.
But I mean, Gotrek could really, just easily wipe out potentially 2 units of clan rats and then slowly start getting into the juicy bits of that army. That's not an unreasonable thing to think, so...
Oh, definitely not.
So it'd be interesting to see. Arta Manmigo 84, hello again. Hey mate, thanks for jumping in. I think you were painting Astra Militarum last time we spoke. Definitely confirming from Redsef it is AOS. Age of Sigmar tournament this weekend, mate, so...
Alrighty, so I have another table update. So we have a Fireslayers versus Korn, sort of at the upper side of the middle tables, and the Magma Blob. So if you haven't heard, there is a Fireslayers army here with, I think, 5?
Yeah,
5 Magma Droths. It has been doing really well, and that blob has decided to walk through the Korn army and remove his units off the table.
Yep, the Magma Blob seems to reign supreme by...
Age of Skaven. Age of Skaven by the looks instead of Age of Sigmar. I like it.
Yep, this is true. Skaven by the many's. But yeah, Paddy was on the stream game 2, I believe, yesterday. Yeah, game 2. So if you wanted to check that out, I believe that will be up on the Foul Charge YouTube page at some stage. And I believe it'll be on Twitch at some stage as well. So yeah, if you want to have a look at all the games yesterday, guys, they'll be put up as soon as we have a chance. But yeah, there's some really great games. Game 3 was definitely my favourite game to watch so far this weekend.
Yes,
so
Game 3 was awesome.
Dino with his Mixed Destruction versus Josh Bonza and his Skaventide. It was Josh's game to lose, but Dino managed to pull it back in the last combat of the last turn of that game. So Josh Bonza in his defence, a new player, only played sort of half a dozen to a dozen games. I think he's about up to game 9 or 10 ever. So yeah, doing really, really well here. But yeah, lots of really great hobby here this weekend. Really excited to the awards ceremony. We've got some really cool awards and some really great prizes to give out as well. So it's going to be really, really cool. And it seems like Gemma is getting some more updates. Definitely keen to hear what's going on and what's happening here. So,
all right. So basically, in Dave's turn, he tried to charge Gotrek, or I should say Slow Trek, into the clan rats. Unfortunately, he rolled a double 1, and that gets halved. So he charged a whole 1 inch.
1 inch.
And then the Darkling Covens then 1 priority. So if you call it the Darkling Covens, I feel like it's just Gotrek. So Gotrek has 1 priority to see if he can win the game for Dave.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see how we go. So Dave obviously would have scored another 4 points there. So it's still even. Obviously a bit of an advantage to the Skaven at the moment, but like I said, if Gotrek can get into the mix of things, he can make lots of rats disappear fairly quickly, so keen to see how things go. Horace, are we filming this? I believe that's what's happening. I think it automatically happens from what I understand, but I'm not a film Twitch guru in any way, shape or form, so my facts are unsupported. Allegedly, I believe so.
Allegedly. I like that word.
Allegedly they are.
Allegedly.
Know the awards. I'll see if we can get some, potentially some Facebook Live, or we'll see if we can get something happening. Worst case scenario, we'll get some photos of all the winners and prize winners, etc., people who placed, and we'll put those up later on. Naturally, if you want to see how things are going as well, guys, if you want to go to Down Under Pairings, you'll be able to see the lists, what's going on, and everything like that as well. So, yeah, feel free to jump on and check things out. It's looking like Gotrek is he's in.
Yeah, he made the charge.
Holy
so
crap.
he must have rolled fairly decent.
Yeah, would have had to roll pretty high. So
yeah, definitely.
He'd still be affected by Wolf Gale at the moment. So
yes, he would. So he would have had a
all right, is this
fairly
unit
high
going? Do you think? What's going on?
Yep. I reckon it'd be a unit of 40. I'd say. I think it'll. Yeah, I reckon about 3/4 and of them will be gone.
I reckon the whole thing is gone.
You reckon the whole thing?
Yep.
I reckon 3/4. What do you guys reckon in the chat? Do you reckon the whole unit of 40 clean rats are going to be killed, or here we go.
What do you reckon,
He's taking
guys?
some off.
How many clan rats can Gotrek kill? I love Gotrek. I don't want to fight one, but I definitely enjoy watching other people use him. So.
oh, he's grabbing handfuls.
Wow. Okay.
That is a unit gone.
So that's one unit gone.
Yep, that's one unit gone. See ya. Bye. I think that's from his first swing, I believe, as well.
Cool.
So he's causing a few dramas there.
Back in the chat, wipe them out. Yep, hopefully Wes. We'll see what goes on.
Not enough.
Red Seth, not enough, probably the answer. Yeah, accurate. Definitely accurate there. So obviously Corey is being smart here and using his pile-in to get some more models into range of the objective, which is a smart move. Definitely some cheeky shenanigans you can do there when you have the bodies to do it. So
yeah, so basically that one unit of clan rats can almost go from one side of the table to the other.
Yeah.
So definitely has the advantage of bodies. So this will be the last unit of clan rats that he has. I'm pretty sure, because I think that unit of 20 has already died. That unit of 40 just died.
Yep. So we're still going to turn against. Still going to turn for Corey to go. So whether he leaves them in combat and lets some free rats die, or whether Gotrek gets retreated around, because they can retreat and charge. So there could potentially be a bit of shenanigans here with the rats at play too.
Yeah, so I think Corey thought he wounded Gotrek there because he clapped, and then he realised that he actually has a 3-up after save, and there was no wounds taken from any of those clan rats. So Gotrek is just like, whatever.
Yeah, just palms it off, starts pointing at that warp, the Grace here, who casts a warp gale on him and say, "I'm coming for you, boy."
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, boy.
He wants to get some vengeance.
He wants some rat meat on his axe, or some rat blood on his axe. So, yeah, keen to see.
So it looks like he can attack with that, because he looks like he's in range. It must have at least a 2-inch range.
Yeah, there's some big range on the bell. So.
Yep. So we'll see if Gotrek takes any wounds from that. It doesn't look like it. And he looks like he's taking off some more rats. 12 more damage.
Wow.
So
not
bad.
Obviously still in range of the bell. I don't know if it's wholly within or whether it's just within for the bell. Might be worth checking that out.
I'd say it'd be wholly within 13 inches.
Yeah, I believe that's the case, but we'll double check. Double check.
So just over a quarter of that unit has been smooshed again by Gotrek, so he is definitely causing some trouble. So if he can get through those and then get into those acolytes, he'll definitely be wiping those out as well. So that'll make it a lot harder for Corey to be able to get across the table and score some points. But don't forget that Warpseer is still on the edge of the table, and he's got a fairly good movement.
Yep.
And he can definitely win the game for Corey.
Absolutely. So that's probably like the hard thing for Dave at the moment. Would definitely be would definitely be the fact that that he's the threat of the warps here, but he's also got the dark shards there as well, so could potentially move those up. We saw those dark shards to take off a unit of 10, so they can do some hurt. Potentially lowering its movement, lowering everything. Being a warp seer, I still believe it can reroll its saves, if I remember correctly, if it hasn't changed in that area. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, to be honest. So
yeah, if it hasn't thrown its Pokeball, it should be able to reroll its saves, and it also has an after save as well. So
we'll
a bit painful.
Absolutely. Well, it's a little bit scary, yeah. I wonder if Corey is starting to feel a little bit of heat with Gotrek in his lines now and sort of making some moves. So we'll see how things go. It looks like it's potentially Corey's turn.
Corey's turn. So Dave would have scored another 4 points.
Yep. So yeah, it's still, even though Dave's taken sort of a large amount of casualties, yeah, definitely still doing pretty well. So still keeping the score fairly tight, and things are still going well. So
yeah, definitely. It's amazing what one little man can do for an army.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you're 520 points, you're probably expecting him to help out a little bit.
Yeah, you got to pull some weight. So you know.
Yeah.
How's everyone in chat going? What's cracking? What are you doing? What are we up to? What do we think? Do we think that Skaven are still going to take this one, or do we think that the Darkling Covens still have the tools to get the job done? Can Gotrek kill enough?
Yeah, so basically Corey's helping Dave out a little bit by 3 Jezzails just died from the Vigor Dust and more war power.
Yep.
So that's a fair bit of damage that's just been taken out of that unit.
Wow, he must have rolled really high. He must have rolled 2d3. So yeah, it must have rolled, because they're 2 wounds each, I believe. So yeah, wow, must have rolled pretty poorly there. So that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yes. So if I was Dave, I'd be secretly a little bit happy about that. The less of them on the table, the better.
Yep, I agree. Definitely agree.
So those acolytes there, I think they've only got a short range, so I feel like they're only going to be able to shoot at Gotrek.
Yeah, I think they've only got about an 8-inch range, I believe. I remember acolytes used to be 8 inches, so you could pop them up in the Scryer Allegiance, and then you wouldn't be in range from your pop-ups. So yeah, I'd imagine they probably haven't changed there. Chat, if we got that wrong or any fact checks us, feel free. Happy to.
School us a little bit.
Yeah. We are students of the game, so we don't unfortunately know everything, but doing our best. So if we do get anything wrong, let us know.
It looks like Gotrek has taken a wound.
Oh.
At least one. From, I think that was from the claw.
I'm not sure.
So
I am not sure.
He has got a wound, so I presume that would only make that little dwarf angrier, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
He's going to be a bit more frustrated.
Definitely fire him up.
Yep.
Definitely.
He needs to be fired up. He needs to take down some more of those rats.
Definitely. So yeah, shooting phase. So obviously Corey hasn't decided he wants to remove those clean rats out of combat. I personally think that's a mistake. Yes, you are opening up potential there, but you can retreat and charge. So you could have potentially, it's hard. It's free damage, but there is a priority roll. So
yeah, there is. Have we definitely gone into the shooting phase, or is that just the hero phase? Because he hasn't moved the warps here either. So if he has forgotten to do that, then. So we're still moving, so thank goodness for that, because I was thinking if he had forgotten to move that warp seer, that is probably detrimental to his scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully Corey doesn't roll a double 1, because that would probably ruin his plans as well.
Definitely.
But they've obviously got a fair few CPs, so can always re-roll that as well. Looking here, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens here. So it looks like he's retreating and running potentially. And obviously the bell, the musician in the Clan Rats adds 2, I believe, to their run rolls, so they can definitely go a really long way really quickly. So definitely one thing that people forget about with Skaven is definitely the fact that they can retreat and charge, as well as they're just sneaky, you know?
They are very sneaky. So just...
So it's looking like Corey's, definitely just wrapping around. So
yeah, so they must have rolled pretty high for their run.
Yeah, potentially a big run roll here. So
it's the first few moved a fair way.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any other additional buffs. I know the bell definitely gives a buff to your bell, whether he spends a CP to give him a 6. We'll see if our table boss can give us some info there. But yeah, we'll having a bit of a look as to what's happening around the venue today as well. I believe Gemma's getting some more updates from around.
I have. So there is, on table 13, there's a Ethereal Maw Crusher. So that seems to be a popular combination with that. And he has taken down a Bloodthirster and Scarbrand.
Oh.
So...
ouch.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I have to say, I have heard in the new book that Maw Crusher is going to be one of the most dangerous monsters in the game, damage-wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he hasn't even... Yeah, so even before the new book being released, that Maw Crusher is still pushing out some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping into chat, ham, but they can't run, retreat, charge. I think I might have explained that poorly, but adding a run roll onto your retreat, I don't think stops you from doing that. I don't think so. I think that's you can still retreat. It's
just classed as a retreat.
Correct.
I think.
So I believe that is still right. But yeah. Anyways, looking at the table, 30 acolytes are ready to throw. Ready to throw some globes at poor little Gotrek. Looks like everything's sort of moving up. It's interesting here. It looks like it's definitely going to be... I think they're just trying to keep him busy by the looks of it. So.
I think so, yeah. So there's a lot of rats there in front of Gotrek there. So it'll be... it's a risk as well, because if he doesn't die here, he can easily get into that unit of acolytes and remove a lot of that danger.
I think that's potentially what he wants to happen. He could be just sort of bundling them up in a way to try and mitigate battle shock from them as well. So if they're going to die, you might as well not suffer any more casualties from battle shock potentially. So
yeah, pretty much. And he still has his threats on the side of the table there, with those clan rats being able to possibly take that objective, and the Warpseer taking the top one as well. So if he can do some side tracking with getting Gotrek in combat, then that's pretty good.
Yep. Okay, that's interesting. Looking back in chat, can't run, retreat / can't run and charge, so they have to move out of combat with rolling a run. Yeah, correct. Yeah, cool. Very good. It looks like we're getting some more updates. Gemma, what do we got?
Alrighty, so on table 4 we have Khorne versus Slaanesh, and the Bloodthirsters have managed to take all of the Keeper of Secrets off the table. But unfortunately he still has a couple of sneaky heroes on the table, little fellas, so they are able to still summon.
Yeah, that is one of the interesting / annoying things about Slaanesh. If they are smart, they will have their front runners doing the damage, getting the depravity, as well as some support heroes sitting back, sort of your home heroes, or your safe heroes, I suppose. So yeah, it's one of those things. Oh, without rolling a run. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe that's a potential insight. As we mentioned yesterday, obviously we can't comment and affect the game by telling people if they've missed stuff. That is the player's responsibility and the opponent's responsibility to know their rules and know what's happening there. So if that is an insight or an overlook, be sure to let them know after. But we'll be sure to get in touch with that.
Alright, so the acolytes are shooting at Gotrek as we speak, so that's why there was a massive hand of dice being rolled on the table.
Absolutely.
So we'll have to see whether Gotrek survives this. I'm keen to see, actually, because 30 acolytes is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
So can Gotrek survive?
We shall see.
Woo-hoo.
But yeah, to stream what's going on, what's happening this Sunday. Let us know what is cracking. Thanks for tuning into the Toowoomba Open 2019. Yeah, basically 47 players have shown up from all over Queensland to come hang out and watch, or play I should say, in this great event. Definitely excited to be doing our stream for the first time. Really excited to, yeah, I've been really enjoying it actually. Just hanging out with everybody and just talking some hammers and just hanging out.
So Gotrek has to take 13 saves.
13 saves. Let's see how we go.
Ooh, let's count him. We're counting.
So let's see.
And he only took 2 wounds. So I'd be pretty happy with that. From being
great.
shot by 30 acolytes and only taking 2 wounds.
That's insane.
Is pretty damn good.
That is insane.
So we still have the Duzales to shoot as well.
Yep. Is he going to throw his master ball?
Yeah, he's looking to see whether he can throw his ball, I presume.
I know it has a name, but ever since Dan Brewer painted his up as looking like a master ball, I just call it the master ball. That just seems way easier. So, but yeah, definitely a great game. Like Dave's obviously doing his best to try and keep in this game, but yeah, Skaven without a doubt are definitely making it difficult for him. That's for sure. Yeah, I think it's really interesting actually where Dave's positioned his dark shards down the bottom there. Potentially keeping if they were to get charged at the front far enough away that they're not going to capture his objective, and even the ones that are wrapped around the back, yeah, potentially not getting enough to be able to take that off him. I guess it depends what happens in combat, but yeah, potentially some really clever moving there as well. So it looks like the Warpsy has taken off some units from up the top there, whether that's from his tail or his master ball. Must have missed that, but I believe there's no models up the top
there's not,
that objective anymore. So
I haven't confirmed whether. I don't think it was his master ball. I think it was just his tail, and he has successfully charged the clan rat. So the first model had to obviously finish within half an inch, and then he's able just to do the rest of his charge. So he has gone over to the objective to try and get more models within 6 inches than what Dave has there.
Absolutely. So yeah, Corey playing smart there as well, charging Gotrek, and then putting more clan rats closer to the objective as well. So yeah, bit of clever play there.
Yeah, so a lot of people just think when they charge they have to finish within half an inch of the models, but it only has to be the first model has to finish within half an inch, and then the other guys can sort of
be where they want to be.
Yeah, be where they want to be.
So yeah, one of those things. But yeah, guys, looking at the round, we've probably got about an hour left in this round, so we've still got a fair bit of time. But we'll see what happens.
See what happens. So going into so obviously Gotrek here looks like he's attacking. So. It actually might have been combat, so we must have stuffed up and it was combat with that Warpsy that must have finished off those.
Oh, gotcha.
Those guys. Sorry.
Well, so
20 clan rats have just died from Gotrek.
Yep.
So, yeah, once again, I like what Corey did, but it is a risky manoeuvre because Gotrek is such a hammer. And recently he just killed the other unit of 40.
Yep.
It was also a little bit of a risk to have them. And personally, I probably might not have done that and probably just charged the acolytes in there, maybe.
I probably would have went more towards the shards, to be honest, because then you're shutting down shooting from that. Realistically, the shards are probably not going to be able to kill all those clan rats, and then that would have been a safer bet for Corey to
that's exactly right.
keep onto that objective, because he's still got Battle Shock to go potentially as well, and obviously the Warpseer, not the Warpseer, sorry, the Greyseer, making use of his ability to GTFO. So.
All right, so the bell has activated and retreated.
Absolutely. So, yeah, definitely very interesting here. We'll see, because obviously these clan rats are definitely out of range of any heroes now. So, yeah, definitely very, very interesting. in regards to...
All right, so the Skaven have burnt that objective for 1 as well. So that is gone. So he'll get an extra point when we tally up the objective points.
Yeah.
So he's
so I have had a couple people DM me as well saying that when you retreat you can only move, you can't run, but it might not matter. It might actually work out in Dave's favour, but we'll see what happens there. So maybe a bit of player error there, but not the end of the world in any way, shape,
I
or
have
form.
heard you can retreat and run. You can roll a d6 and run, retreat away.
Yeah, there's been a few people saying the same thing, so we'll have to just triple check that and fact check that, but that's okay.
If anyone can give us a page or something we can look that up on just to clarify, that'd be good. Yeah. So priority has been done and Skaven has won the priority.
Oof, okay. We also probably need to find out how much stuff was burnt for.
Yep, so he got 1 for that objective he burnt with the clan rats. So he just got 1 objective point for that.
Just 1.
So
okay.
he should have
5.
6.
Yes,
because the warp
that's
seer
right.
is on the top 1.
That is correct. Alrighty. So jumping into chat, Big Sean, does he need to charge Gotrek? Why not just continue to debuff him and shoot? True. Very true. I think, what we discussed in regards to potentially just getting rid of some shards in combat and doing that might have been a good move as well. But hey, might be a part of his grand plan, who knows?
Yeah, so basically Dave is just going to go for some kill points now because he's got the eye on the sword.
What's that, sorry?
So Dave has basically just decided to go for kill points now.
Yep.
And he's got the eye on the sword.
Right.
So he wants to go for the prize for the most kill points.
There you go. Very good, very good. Alrighty. Alrighty.
So Dave has put his shoes back on too, if no one's noticed.
That's funny. That is definitely funny.
All right, so it looks like Corey's doing some pre-measuring, whether or not he's trying to see if that warp seer can get down to the other objective and control it as well.
Absolutely.
It's interesting though, so if he does get that model down there, we'd have to do some measuring to see whether that back unit is actually within 6 inches of that objective, because if he is, then he will only contest that and not take it off of him.
Correct.
So, and he's going to probably need a large charge just to get down there.
Hey, it's happened before, so
we have seen Gotrek do a 12.
We have seen him do a 12. We know he does have the resources. He definitely does have the ability. So, past evidence has shown that this is a potential outcome. Not a highly likely one. I think, from memory, double 6 is an 8% chance, if I remember correctly. Obviously, fact check me, chat. If I've got that wrong, obviously let me know. But I think it's 8%, so not highly likely, unfortunately. So
no, but it's exciting when it does happen.
Absolutely. Alrighty.
Okay.
But yeah, looking around at the rest of the table, guys, looks like that we've had a few more games wrap up. Looks like people are starting to finish up their games. Looking at the time, we've got about an hour left in the round. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens here. Looks like Paddy and his Magma Blob have taken down Tyler and the Corn. So Paddy should be 4-1. So good job, Paddy. Well done. Looking like, definitely some interesting games taking place at the moment as well. Any updates for us, Gemma?
I do. I have something very, very interesting could change today.
I'm listening.
It could definitely change today.
I'm listening.
But after this break, oh no, I'm kidding. So basically, it looks like James Lynch has gotten up over the Slanesh.
Oh, geez.
So that'll put him on 5 major wins as well.
5 major wins as well. He has dropped a secondary, so yeah, that could potentially...
So strength of schedule and secondaries are going to be very, very important to see who can podium.
Really big. Absolutely. So
that has shaken it up.
Shaken it up for sure. So yeah, we'll definitely see how things progress there. But looking like it's an interesting game. I can't see the table between Daughters of Cain and Dino's Mixed Destruction, but I'd imagine that would be a hard slog for both armies there.
It doesn't look like there's much left on the table, to be honest.
Oh wow!
It looks like there's an empty table. So I'll see if I can find out some information about that at some stage.
Some more info there, guys. And
the Daughters of Cain and Mixed Destruction, there doesn't look like there's much left on that table. So just repeating in case you've missed that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exciting stuff.
For sure. Looking down at some other tables, obviously we've got Sean Horton and Dennis Laurie on one of the tables as well, so it's Flesh Eater Course versus Iron Jaws. Obviously Sean's keen to use his Mango Jaws to wreak some havoc now that the book is out. Obviously Matt Gammy and Josh Bonzar, so Skaven versus the Bone Splitters, same deal. I'm sure Gammy is keen to stick his big stabbers into that new book and get excited about the new rules that he'll have access to him. So
yeah, definitely. He's been an OG Bone Splitters player for as long as I can remember.
Probably as long as you played Nurgle, to be honest. So.
Yeah, pretty much. So having those guys getting a bit of a facelift is definitely exciting. I remember when Nurgle got a bit of a facelift, I was pretty damn excited about it.
The Megakin of Nurgle. So yeah, I definitely share that love as well. Just almost finished my Megakin army as well. So the next iteration anyway. So
yeah. So I have got an answer. The Daughters of Cain are slightly in front between them and the Mixed Destruction, and they're going into the priority for turn 5, I believe.
Oh, okay. Pointy end.
It is. There are some bloody close games going on.
Absolutely. So yeah, like obviously, yeah, it's pretty great. Pretty great that hopefully everyone who's attended here has had a great weekend. Excuse me, my Red Bull is coming up saying hello. But yeah, no, it's been a really great weekend. Great to see everyone. Again, we've said it once, we've said it twice, we'll say it again. Absolutely great to see Queensland AOS having an amazing turnout. Lots of great people. I haven't heard anyone saying that they're having a terrible time, and yeah, it's been a really great event. Definitely happy to be a part of it, even though I haven't really done much, but other than talk to everyone, but that's okay. It's always fun. Looks like Gemma's getting some updates, so I will continue to ramble until Gemma has got all those information done. Looks like potentially some Skaven have taken down some Gloom Spike kits in front of us as well. Updates, Gemma, how we going?
Alrighty, so basically what has happened here from what I can gather is Gotrek got shot at again by the Acolytes. He had to take 12 saves, he only took 1 wound, and I'd say that units that Dave had, Dark Shards, next to that Norhole, look like they've been shot at as well, I think, because there's only 2 left.
Yeah.
If I'm right there, and those clan rats have moved back towards.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because potentially those 2 Dark Shards are enough to take that objective off that Screaming Bell. If he rolls hot, that could be potentially really, really good for him as well.
Yeah.
And if Dave is clever with the unit up the back of the board, if he can sort of get himself in a position where he can take that objective back, that could be some small points, putting things back into his favour potentially. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, definitely. So the Warp Seer has also charged Gotrek.
Oh, here we go.
He's also been charged by the Arch Warlock as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I think Corey's definitely trying to kill off Gotrek and get some kill points as well. So there's a lot of people trying to nab that sword.
Yeah, either trying to kill Gotrek, or he could potentially... or he could be potentially just trying to keep Gotrek nice and busy, so then when it goes into Dave's turn, he's still in combat and can't blow up a Gracier. So
yeah,
we'll see how things are going.
Yep, so there's definitely some sneaky shenanigans. He definitely knows how to play his Skaven Yeah, I've learnt a few things actually by watching this game.
Okay. Yeah, definitely some tricks, definitely some shenanigans, definitely some good play. Jumping into chat, Big Sean can use the charge as a free move. Remember, they can move out of combat when they activate for free moves.
Yeah, so I found out some really disgusting news too, just real quick.
Oh, updates. Give us
Yeah,
us.
so on table 4, I think it's the Slanesh versus the Khorne. Slanesh have managed to get up to 90 depravity. Ugh,
90.
I just feel sick. It makes me physically feel sick. 90 depravity.
9-0,
WTF.
guys. 9-0.
WTF. What is happening with this game?
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Not gonna lie.
I'm hoping James can just wipe out those little heroes and he can't summon on anything. He can have those 90 depravity points and just piss off.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what happens there, to be honest. So, see what goes on.
Yeah, so hopefully he can still have the upper hand on that table when you're trying to fight the army and then also deal with 90 depravity points. It's a bit ruthless.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's in chat, Stylebender is the new UFC champ. I don't know what that reference is in relation to. I'm sorry, Wes, but that's great. Big ups.
So I think there was a UFC fight on today. I think Dan Brewer was actually watching it down south somewhere. So if that's in reference to that, it looks like the fight is over. And if Stylebender is the guy's name, he obviously is the victor. If that's where Wes is going with that.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure because I'm not actually sure. I don't follow UFC personally, so whether this is Rob Whittaker was the Australian champ. Whittaker. Okay, cool. Bit of UFC info there.
Yeah, so if anyone's
if
out
you're
there
interested in that sort of stuff, obviously some updates there as well. But yeah, back into the game. Looks like we're starting to kick off and starting to get some stuff happening. So
yes, we must be doing some. I think we're doing some combat. We're doing some combat. And seeing whether Gotrek can survive.
Yeah, can Gotrek. So we'll see what happens. We've got some yelling. We've got a fair bit of noise here. I think something big has happened potentially. We'll wait for our table boss to get back and give us a bit of info as to what's happening there as well.
All right, so Gotrek has survived against the Warpseer, and we'll get to strike again.
Oh.
So I like it.
It's all happening. It's all happening. Back into chat, second round knockout to Stylebender. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it actually is UFC. I thought it might have been some dank black trade market kind of underground references there, Wes. But yep, I do know that Wes does some martial arts in his spare time as his extracurricular activities. So yeah, obviously some interest there.
So as you can see, the Warpseer did not survive that round of combat against Gotrek. He has been removed from the table.
Boom.
Take it away.
Boom. So yeah, that's some more kill points for the boys.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, Gotrek has probably gotten all of the kill points for Dave in this game, just to be sarcastic.
Oh, potentially. I haven't been paid attention. I think the executioners killed a bit of stuff.
They did, yeah.
Fully killing it. I'm not quite sure. I know you're being sarcastic, but definitely funny. We might have to get a bit of an update on points as well. I think it will be 5, I believe, because you'll still have the one from the Warpseer up the top, as well as his four home objectives as well. So I'm guessing that's 5 if we've got it wrong.
Yeah, so I'm guessing if this is the end of Corey's turn, he has scored 5 objective points. So we'll just find out, but it looks like he's actually piled Gotrek around into the Acolytes.
Can he wipe out this unit of Acolytes?
So, hang on a sec, we might have jumped the gun a little bit here. That must have been his first activation into the Warpseer, and now he's activating again because he can if there's an enemy unit within 3.
Gotcha.
And he's moved around, and we'll see what he is attacking.
Wow, okay, so some Acolytes, there's blood and fur and poison wing globes flying everywhere at the moment. So.
Yeah.
So starting to take out some models. Wow, so looking like...
Oh.
Wow, it looks like probably half the unit has been taken out there, so... Yeah, amazing stuff. Gotrek, MVP, all round, all day, every day.
What a mincer.
All round, every day.
What
all
a
day,
mincer.
every day. Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So 16 acolytes, I still want to call them globadiers, but 16 acolytes have died from that first activation. So I'm going to guess that Corey's turn has finished. He got 5 points, and we're now into Dave's turn.
Yep. Because, seeing those swordsmen charge, obviously being in a position where he's trying to wrap around those clean rats and stop them from retreating and running onto his objectives. So definitely some smart play there from Dave, dealing with threats as he can. Maybe if he can get rid of this threat, he might be able to run them up onto his other home objective and stop Corey from scoring. Whether Dave's sort of given up or not really sure, but stuff's still happening. Obviously.
He's definitely going to be getting some kill points, that's for sure.
Yeah, worst case scenario, definitely some kill points will be happening. So
yeah. It's just awesome to see that people just want to get in combat with Gotrek still. Like, it's just... it's like
still
a surprised. It is, yeah.
It's just like, can I kill this short, stunty Dwarden, or will he rip apart my whole army?
And then you do it because you're like, oh, I can do it. I believe in my units. And then you take them off because Gotrek has survived and killed your unit. You're like, nah. Turns out I can't.
Well, what did we see before? The 3 Terragast seemed to be able to kill him fairly...
Well, it ended up being just one doing the work, so he over-committed.
Yep.
But when you think about it, a lot of people have put a lot of units into Gotrek and got nowhere.
Yep.
So he played the safe game and over-committed with 3, and one of them just did the job for him.
That's generally what happens, hey? Like, if you think, I'll only need 1, you definitely need 2 or 3. When you commit 3, you generally only need 1. So that's Murphy's Law. So
it's like when you lose something and you put it somewhere and then you're like, I can't find it anywhere. You go and buy the replacement and then you find you lost one.
Exactly.
It happens every time.
That is life, unfortunately. That is life. But I think Corey's definitely doing his best to try and remove some wounds from Gotrek, but I don't think he's getting the results he's after. So.
Yeah, so Gotrek has survived that round of combat and he's going to fight again. So those acolytes attacked him, did nothing, he survived, and now he's swinging back. Big D swinging back.
Big D swinging his Big D around. So
let's see if he can blend us some more rats.
I reckon there'll be some more fart gas and some fur and some blood flying around.
Yeah, I'm just picturing him swinging, just spinning around in a circle, waving his axes around.
Yeah, like that song. I was just like, I'm a maniac, maniac. I reckon that's what's going on for sure.
Just on his tippy toes too, like
dancing around. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sweat beading off his brow.
Just the finesse, finesse he has.
That's right. That's always a good time. Morning, Ben. How you doing?
Morning, Ben.
Welcome back to the chat. How's England going? What's going on? I don't even know what the right term is. UK, England. It seems like you can definitely say the wrong things, but whatever. You know what I mean. That's the main thing, right? Just as a bit of an update, if anyone has joined the stream in the recent time, it is Dave, the back-to-back Master Kerr versus Corey Papanimi, an ex-pro video games player who's jumped into AOS. We've jumped in, and this is the final game on table 1. It's looking like Skaven has got this one, but Dave has been very verbal in saying that he is more than happy to keep playing and get as many kill points as possible, as we do have a beautiful engraved sword for the most kill points at this tournament. Around the tables, we've definitely got some awesome games happening. We've got Slanesh versus Khorne, so from a narrative perspective, a beautiful grudge match. We've got lots of awesome games still happening around as well. Gemma, some updates?
I definitely have some updates. So Gotrek then, when he polled in for his second time, tried to take out the Arch Warlock. Arch Regent. I should go play Feck again.
Feck on the brain.
Yeah, I got Feck on the brain. So he only managed to do 3 damage to that Arch Warlock, unable to take him down.
Oh, no.
Battle Shock for those acolytes. Basically, all but 3 survived.
Only 3? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair.
And then Dave won priority as well.
There you go. It's early. Okay, jumping back in the chat. It's early. Yeah, fair enough. Well, thanks for making the effort. Always appreciate having some people in the chat. Always appreciate comments. Let us know, chat. Where are you? Or what are you doing? What's going on? Are you hobbying? Are you hanging out? Always happy to know what's going on if you're comfortable with telling us who you are and where you're from, obviously. But yeah, we've also got Mixed Destruction, Dino Destruction Matthews versus Mr. Nick with his daughters as Kane as well. They're not too far away from our streaming table. Last time we got a bit of an update from them. There was not much left on the table going into turn 5. Jeb is getting some more updates at the moment. There's a bit of a yelling and some crying happening from Corey. What's going on, Jeb?
So what has happened is Gotrek killed the Arch Warlock and the 3 remaining acolytes.
Yep.
And then he would have scored some points. We'll have to get that up there. And then Corey has basically rolled a double 6 and got a free Vermin Lord.
That is the second free Vermin Lord that we've had on stream this weekend, so my goodness.
So then I think Dave would have only scored the 2 objectives. And
so he scored 2, that's right, because he's only got 2 left. So yeah, we'll update the scores in that instance. So yeah, wow. So obviously Corey's won the priority into 5. So we'll be...
Dave won priority into 5, so that was...
Oh, my apologies there.
So we'll just fix that up.
Absolutely. So Dave... Yeah, so it's really Dave's won a priority. Good job.
Yeah, Dave won a priority, and that's where he...
I don't think he has any heroes other than Gotrek to be able to use CPs, but it looks like we've finished the game there. Quick turn's a good turn, and that's it, guys. So that is the game. We'll get both of the guys on at some stage shortly just for some quick little interviews as to what's happening.
Yes. So basically, in the end of that, Gotrek went down, and that was when Dave decided that it was game over. So
Absolutely.
He couldn't pull it back any further. He did decide to go for the sword about in turn 3.
Yeah, it was fairly early on. I think once sort of a couple of his big hammer units were sort of gone, with the exception of Gotrek, Dave's decided to go balls to the wall and try and kill as much filthy Skaven as he possibly can. So, yeah, Darkling Covens going down, but I think considering, I think that was an absolute stellar effort by the Master, using Darkling Covens versus the very, very, very prominent and powerful Skaventide at the moment. So yeah, we'll let these guys have a bit of a chat, bit of a wrap up. But yeah, love to get both of these guys on, and we'll have a quick chat. As we mentioned earlier, we obviously do have another player, James Lynch, playing Khorne on undefeated as well. So if he wins this game against Slaanesh, it could be. He might be able to snag the victory. It obviously depends on hidden agendas, depends on kill points and all the rest of our tiebreakers there. So
that's correct, yeah. We do have strength of schedule as a tiebreaker as well, and once we found out that he had to go up against 90 depravity points, I'm hoping he can still pull the win somehow out of his magical... Well, I shouldn't say magical hat, because Khorne hates magic,
yes,
so that was a terrible thing to say, Gemma.
Blood-covered, skull-encrusted hat.
Yeah.
Bag.
Yeah, out of
whatever.
his just blood bag.
Blood bag, okay.
Yeah, Khorne loves blood.
Bloody
skull bag. Skull just out of his skull, maybe.
Absolutely. So yeah, I did see that an Enrapturous did get put on the board, as well as another Keeper of Secrets. So the poor Khorne, he might be getting, obviously he gets Blood Tie from that as well. So maybe at this stage we might have another Bloodthirster coming onto the board. We were talking about James's Bloodthirster earlier. It did lose a wing, so we were saying that could be potentially a quarter of a blood type point for one wing off a Bloodthirster, so we're going to fractions here.
Yeah, so I have got some more table information from table 4. So that is the table that we were just talking about with the Khorne and Slaanesh. So with that 90 depravity points, the Slaanesh player has managed to summon on 20 Demonettes, 2 Keepers, and another 2 Leaders.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, that's the old Heralds of Slaanesh. So yeah, wow, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. So hopefully, I do feel bad for the Khorne player now, because he has got, he's basically versing not only just 2,000 points, he's basically just having to go and up and beyond and keep playing.
Yeah, well, Keepers are sort of in that 300 point range, as well as Vice Leaders, I believe, would be like sort of in that 100 point range. So he's probably looking at like a potential of another 600 to 800 points that has been put on the board. So
yeah, and that's just this summon. That's just this summoning. So if he has summoned on any of the other turns.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's just
so there could be
ridiculous.
more, so we don't know. Jumping into chat, Olympus. Hello, Ryan. That is my boss from work, so hello. And we've also got Big Sean saying, F me, that is lame. Hey, like, it's very thematic. As broken as it is, or as much as people complain about it, Slaanesh, it makes sense. Like, everything in excess, like killing in excess, summoning in excess, everything like that. So
It's just excess.
everything is
It's
excess.
just everything is excess.
It's true. So every there was, I think it was like someone was talking about how the more Khorne kill, that's excessive. So potentially Khorne getting stronger, that in turn making Slaanesh stronger. So that's thematic for sure.
Oh, definitely.
True to the lore.
Yep.
Even though I don't think that Ryan Hooper is very interested in the lore, but you never know. Maybe that's why he was drawn to Slaanesh, because it has a very compelling narrative potentially. So
yeah. A lot of people love Slaanesh just because it's one of the top tier armies as well. There's a lot of players out there that just love to play the top tier.
Yeah, tier S armies, absolutely. Jumping back into chat, what faction is winning? It's looking like it's either going to be a potential of Khorne. So Blades of Khorne, it could potentially be Vermintide, so Skaven, or it could be potentially an upset from Slaanesh, but I don't think the Slaanesh will have it. So we'll see how we go. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. So.
Yeah, definitely. So those guys are just adding up their scores, and we would love to get them over here to do a couple of interviews as well. So I'll see if I can get their attention, and also do a bit of a walk around while Josh is doing the interviews, and see whether I can get some information from some of the other tables as well.
Yes, that's great.
Because I find that very important to see what else is happening. A few people have finished their game, so I'll see if I can grab some info from them as well. So give me 2 seconds, Josh. You can take over for a couple of seconds, and I'll go grab the fellas for you.
Alrighty, cool. As we mentioned earlier, we have Toowoomba Open 2019 event held in Toowoomba, which is an hour and a half west of Brisbane. Definitely a great part of the world, if I do say so myself. This is home for me. We don't have any international players. Excuse me, we don't have any people from interstate, but we do have some great clubs. We do have the Hammer Hub, Heralds of War, League of Gamers Ipswich, the Mango Mafia, the Savage Northmen, Simple Math Club, Team Pat, Failed Charge, the Silver Horde, and Brishammer. So yeah, definitely. I'm going to say it again. I don't care. Brisbane has, and Queensland has a greater area, has an amazing scene, showing some great support. Some people travelling in excess of 2 hours to get here and hang out this weekend. So obviously, really appreciate the amazing support that the Queensland Age of Sigmar scene has, and it's very thankful, and we're very lucky. So looks like Corey is here for another little cheeky interview.
So
Get in here. Shuffle over. Let's get you into frame.
Sweet. I got told to speak into this really deeply.
It's true. Cool. If it looks like there's some suspicious action happening, no, he's under instructions. So.
Yeah, sweet.
Corey, thank you again. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Lovely to have you.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, cracking game. Obviously, Mr. Kerr obviously seemed like he made you work very hard for that victory.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't.
No, it was no pushover, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that maybe giving you the first turn was a potential mistake?
Huge. I think the thing I was worried about the most, being Scorched Earth, every time I played it, anyone that's alphaed me, because my regular teammates is Slaanesh and Eels, every time they alpha me and my clan rats go, that's what wins me over all my games. So without the bodies to be able to cap objectives and retreat and charge and all those sorts of shenanigans they can do, I definitely would have lost. So I anticipated him going, bringing Dingy, turn 1, straight into the clan rats and blowing up at least 2 lines with a 20 and a 40 easily, with a 30 there. And then I would have had 40 left, still locked in combat, and because I've strung him out so long, they wouldn't be able to retreat and charge. But it also would have meant he would trade 2 of my screens for his big hammer unit, and the idea behind my game was to make sure I got Warp Gale off at least once. I had 2 of those, just to keep Gotrek under control for at least 2 turns to clear up. Yeah.
He was given the name Slow Trek after he was Warpgaled. So, and he was also, we decided that he was, I don't know the name of the song, but how it goes, I'm a maniac, and then that's basically what was happening as he was slicing through everything, basically.
Absolutely. And I just... Dave Kerr is the luckiest player I've ever met. I've never met someone that rolls so many 3-ups.
Yep. As I had Dave on in his last game when he was on stream, and I've dubbed him the Dave Kerr, the Mortark of rolling sixes.
100%.
So the dice God had blessed him.
100%.
I don't know if he sold his soul, whether there's ongoing blood sacrifice. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. Whether there's some virgins or some small children that need to die.
I don't know what those Mango boys are doing in their spare time, but it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. So it doesn't work for me personally, but obviously someone, maybe we're channeling all our power into Dave, much like Goku when he was doing the solar bomb.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, he's just taking all the energy.
Yep, just feed me your power, feed me your power. But yeah, no, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, just going back to turn 1,
yes.
Because he's obviously less drops than me, he gets to make the choice, but
Yes.
that allows me to put down my threats last.
For sure.
So with the Giselles, I always knew that I needed to make sure I was within 36 threat range of the Executioners. That was always my game plan.
Yes.
And the Acolytes was the hardest one to choose because obviously I wanted to make sure they were a threat and active in the game, so I boarded them in the center. I was really worried about there was an overgrown piece of terrain I had to manage.
Yep.
Which was a bit frustrating, but in the end it did it. I did make a huge mistake in that. I mean, at that point of the game was decided, but I didn't move my Acolytes back so the Gotrek could pile into him and blah blah blah. But by then he was just chasing kill points and.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things, like when you think about it as well, potentially keeping him busy and keeping him locked up in combat instead of running around potentially going over to your bell or different things like that. It's potentially not a bad move. Like if you know that you're in a strong dominant position, sometimes feeding a blender a unit that you don't necessarily need isn't a bad thing. So I guess it's perspective.
Yeah, and that's it. And all I was looking for at this point was just trying to get as many rolls as possible. It wasn't about damage, it wasn't about like roll. It was just literally about how many dice can I throw in, because all he needs to do is slip up with those 1s and 2s.
Yep.
And then summoning the Vermin Lord at the end was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, we were commenting that's the second Vermin Lord that's come up on stream this weekend. So Josh Bonza in turn 1 against Dino in game 3 yesterday got a free Vermin Lord turn 1, charged Dino's lines in turn 1, so it was unreal. So.
Yeah, it's funny because Mick was giving me so much on the sidelines going, come on mate, you can do this, and just cracking on. But it was so funny because the night before we were playing games just mucking around. I was playing his Khorne Archaon list, and turn 1 summon a Vermin Lord, and we just shook hands like, yeah, sweet, that's enough for me.
So Mick and his Khorne definitely didn't want nothing to do with that. So.
Well, it was duality, and we kind of worked out how exactly it's going to work, and I was just able, because it's wholly within 26 and he still gets to act as if it was still on the board. I honestly think that's just ridiculous. Like the fact you're getting a free 300-point model, still being able to move, cast, shoot, like everything, it's just crazy. I mean, they really need to fix that.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, there's lots to fix in Skaven, really, isn't there?
Yeah, we'll give it some time. Some new GHBs, different things. There's some opportunities in the works. So yeah, it's one of those things where we'll, I'm sure time will tell. But yeah, with cities and some other bits and pieces, some heavy shooting. Who knows? That might level things out. You never know. So
yeah, I'm keen for cities. That Hollow Heart stuff, I reckon that's going to wreck face.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's some strong stuff there. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, we were talking. I think it was the Friday night as well. Oh, sorry, I got completely sidetracked there. I was listening to Facehammer recently when they were talking to the gentleman who won the Facehammer GT and talking about how his army struggled, his INFs really struggled against Gristlegore, but now that Slaanesh is so much more prominent, it's pushing the Gristlegore meta into a different direction. So,
100%.
So I was thinking that was relevant because with the new cities, that might push Skaven's power back a little bit.
Yes, I think endless spell spam like Change Host can do, potentially with Hollow Heart, can be very good for blocking people out. It's also really good for Fire Slayers because they technically don't have any inbuilt unbinds for endless spells. I think it's called, what's it called? It's not unbind, it's dispelling. Dispelling, yeah. Even though they have the 4-upper shrug for spell effects, they just can't remove those things, so body blocking them out is really good, which is what my plan is with my new Skaven list. That's right, I'm dropping 10 Brewers list finally. Yeah, just because I think you just need that potential to lock people down, especially with Gotrek. I mean, whether he's viable competitively or not, I mean, he's just a huge major threat you need to deal with, and with that 3-up save, it's just ridiculous. So
well, if you've got access to some interesting bits and pieces, like you could 100% a couple big endless spells, like a Palisade and a few other bits, you can sort of really lock him in between some terrain. You can do like lots 100%. Of things. So.
I mean, that's the only real. Besides spawning 10 skinks every turn and feeding him the blender, like that's kind of your only option to push him out.
Yeah.
So.
I guess it's like one of those interesting some things where I'm sure, again, like the addition of new pieces and interesting things will potentially change the meta, because, like, realistically, I'm a lazy hobbyist. I don't love painting 1 million models. So, like, painting a Gotrek and that being like a quarter of your army, like, I would imagine we will see more and more of it.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And I guess it's like any smart player who wants to do well in tournaments. If you have answers to big threats, that's generally when you're going to do well. And if you've got an answer for someone's little angry piece, yeah, you're going to be better off for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind. Like, how do I deal with that? So I almost view Gotrek almost like 30 Hearthguards. Like, how do I deal with this? I can't kill it, so I need to deal with it some other, creative way. And I think endless spells is probably the trick at this point.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Especially if you can get some damage out of phase and like,
100%.
Like that. There's definitely some interesting things and some tech that I think is going to emerge for sure.
Just going back on that point you're making about the Feck meta, it's actually quite interesting because here and even at this event there was only 2 Feck lists and only one of them was Gristlegore.
Both, I believe.
Both were Gristle. Oh, okay. And I feel something that people haven't tapped into yet, I feel, is that Feck is the only army that had access to piling in twice without having to be technically within 3 of a unit.
Yes.
And I think that's something people need to explore a little bit more, because what you can do is obviously tag team and 2 huge threats, take off the screen, and even though you're outside 3, you can still technically pile in 3 and have that 3-inch range.
Correct.
I think that's something that people need to, when they're writing their Feck list, tap into a bit more. Because I think that's the secret tech for that list at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen, like, obviously in the past and everything, people, I saw like Doom and Darkness, other content creators, even just in my own experience, just like the putting your screen out, having a unit far enough behind to be able to do something and then continue on with that. So
yeah, because
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, even with measurements with the screens, if you go 3 and then 3 away from that, and then 3 because of the maul, so probably like a 7, that's enough for a base.
Yep.
And so you're only looking for like I know it's a lot, like a 9-inch charge to get the base over the top, but it just means that you really need to deploy perfectly in order to block that potential. And that's just scary. I mean, I've been like, my army's been tabled turn 1, like most of the army's been tabled turn 1 by a mate of mine that plays Feck.
Yep.
And we were talking about lists, and there was a list over in America, Midwest Meltdown, that came top 4, and it has the Feck Gristlegore and the Dragon with the rerolling wounds, and I think that's amazing. And with the mount trait for the extra end. And he just threw those 2 things into 100 clan rats. They're all gone. When again, it's just like, okay, game over.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like thinking about Mix Flesh Eater Corpses, his blister skin. Use of all those elements, and obviously Mick from the failed charge, obviously a really switched on player. Made use of all those things, and did really well with
against the Skaven meta. Just anything that's affecting and abusing the leadership mechanic, huge. Like those blister kings just rip apart my clan rats, that's for sure.
Big unit of 6 or 9 players.
Yeah, mate. Alright, sweet. I'm getting kicked off by the master.
We're getting heckled, so Corey, congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much.
Obviously, we never know until the final standings are all tallies are done and everything like that. But really appreciate it, and well done.
No worries, thank you.
Awesome, thanks, mate.
Hi, mate.
Let's get him on. Oh, Dave's so Dave's cleaning, doing a little bit of spring cleaning. I thought that might have been for to help something soft to sit on, so that's okay.
No.
How we going, Dave?
Good, man. Feeling good.
How we doing?
Long weekend,
Yeah, it is. All weekend. Pretty exciting.
Started on Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably the highlight of my weekend.
Hanging out with Fordo on Friday.
Hanging out with Fordo.
And Big Dino.
And D-Maps.
The D-Maps. How's it going?
You saw it.
I did. How was your thoughts? Do you think, I was talking to Corey, do you think that giving him the first turn was a potential mistake there?
Probably. If I could have done it again, maybe I would have taken the first. But look, at the end of the day, I don't think I ever could have beaten that list.
Okay.
It was probably the one list here that I was like, nah, I can't beat that. Like, it's got 198 wounds or something.
It does have a lot.
My list has 94.
It does, correct.
I also have 2 pages in the General's Handbook.
You do, that's correct. You do. You don't have the spell law, you do, there's definitely a lot of things, but...
yeah, so I'm pretty happy with going 4 and run with the Covens.
100%, man.
I think that's a pretty good run.
Well,
to be honest.
I do remember there has been some doubters. There has been some people who gave you a bit of shtick and giving you a bit of curry, as some would say, for running the Covens, saying like, why are you wasting your time? they're underpowered, they're never going to do well. So I think 4-1 is definitely a little cheeky FU to the air quotes haters.
Definitely. They got like Darkling Covens. I mean, they're not a thing after this, so we shouldn't even really talk about them much. But they do have some power. But it's actually really good playing a list. It's not like a top kind of thing. Like your wins are much more rewarding.
Yeah, 100%.
Your games are more challenging. Kind of, I don't know. It just feels a little better.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just mentioning listening to Facehammer recently in regards to playing AOS on hard mode makes you meaning playing armies that aren't that S tier or that tier 1. Definitely A makes it a very rewarding experience when you do win. B, you become a better player. Obviously, you've got a lot of prestige and obviously done really well in the past with different bits and pieces, so not new to doing well, but I think you can definitely get the most potential out of something when you're used to playing that way and everything like that.
Yeah, so I got to think now, what am I going to play? I want something that nobody really plays. It's a bit weak, but it's got some hidden tech,
Jumping back on the Nova?
Some gems. Maybe. I don't know. Nova has some serious strength.
Maybe like an underplayed cities or some...
Maybe. I was thinking even Seraphon.
Seraphon?
So, let's all talk about the cool shit that happened.
I'm ready.
Gotrek?
The G-Man, the big G with the big D. So
Gotrek got flexed that game.
He did, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure, because at the end of the game, if he didn't summon that extra thing,
he wouldn't have gone off that bell.
As far as I'm concerned, is cheating. He had a Screaming Bell and 4 Jezzails left on the table.
He did. He definitely did.
So that was pretty good, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And usually, Gotrek, they kept coming in, acolytes are bah, 30 bombs, and I'm one wound.
I could just imagine all these blows getting thrown at him. He's just done a little pirouette. All the smoke is cleared, and he's standing there just holding 2 fingers out like that.
The smoke starts clearing, and you just see that shadow, that silhouette.
Yeah.
And he's holding his shit. It's just
yeah. I'm coming after you, boys!
I'm gonna eat you.
And we were sort of commenting as well that potentially he would have had a bit of a boombox or potentially a VHS player in his pocket with some headphones that you can't actually see on the model. And I'm a maniac.
Well,
and he was just killing everything. So
technically, if we want to get really correct, he's got a Walkman with a 10-second skip delay.
Yes.
So when he swings his axe, the CDs don't skip.
Would it be a Sony Walkman?
Definitely Sony Walkman.
Yeah, cool.
And he's playing Offspring Smash.
Offspring? Yeah, Offspring, good shit. Yeah. I could definitely see that for sure.
That's his jam.
We were talking about that he would probably listen to Journey as well.
Journey and Kansas is one of his favourite bands.
Kansas, yeah, absolutely. So, just some lore that wasn't included in the Slayer books, but
I asked for it to be included. I wrote a couple of pages for the new books, Realm Slayer, and it was all about a bit of background on what kind of shit Gotrek likes.
Yep.
What kind of tavern girls he likes, what he usually heads for,
Yep.
But they left it out. They said it added too much kind of background and lore.
Yeah, fair enough. Must have got lost. But oh well, that happens. Maybe the next book.
Stuke's looking for what faction is winning. Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, so that was probably Olympus is my boss from work actually, who was nice enough to jump on. He asked that prior to the game finishing, so
okay.
Not a big AOS player by any means, but just looking after a bit of info and everything like that.
So who do you think's going to win?
Well, it depends on what happens with Ryan Hooper and happens with James Lynch, because James Lynch has dropped a secondary but is undefeated at the moment. Last time we checked, Ryan Hooper had 90 dependent points, so he was able to summon so far 20 units, 2 keepers, 2 vice leaders so far. From that
stupid, isn't it?
It's we were talking that being very diplomatic and saying that it's very true to their narrative and true to their lore. But
no, it's stupid.
It definitely makes the game a little bit more challenging for people who are playing
against it. Yeah. That's AOS on hard mode, just play against Slanesh.
Yeah, that's true. So, that's the thing.
Anything.
Absolutely. Big Sean from New Zealand, looking good, Dave. Are you in Sydney next week?
Incorrect, I'm not in Sydney next week. I was going to go, but some stuff came up. I got to finish off American Gods on Amazon Prime.
Very cool. How is it going?
But nah, I think it would have been really cool. It's 2.5K. Took over from RCGT.
Yep.
It'll be rad. I think there's like 110.
Yeah, there's a lot of people going.
Yeah.
A huge tournament.
Should be really cool. But unfortunately, I'm not going. I would love to.
Yeah, we were talking, there was a person in chat yesterday who was talking about how, well, what are the advantages of 2,500 points? Is it a good thing? And we were talking about, like, you're unable to net list, it unlocks combos that aren't present in the 2,000 point meta, and potentially, like, battalions and things that you can't fit in normal games. So, yeah, completely agree. 2,500 points is the shiz.
It's definitely interesting. I wouldn't like it become like a standard, but for like a one event kind of a year, yeah, it'd be dope.
What were you going to take if you were going?
Well, when I was
Covens and
going,
Gotrek?
yeah, the Cities book hadn't come out yet, so I was probably just going to take Darkling Covens. And with 500 extra points, like, you don't get much more.
This is true.
It doesn't get better.
That's pretty good.
I think that 2,000 points for Covens is probably the best it's getting.
Yeah, it's pretty mincy, that's for sure. If you don't get walkouts cast on you, like, you could have been in there a turn earlier, so it could have been a different game.
Oh, man. And just when you saw me just take my dragon off.
Yep.
So he has 6 Trazales. He's done 2 wounds to me.
4 damage, yeah.
No, he's just done 2 wounds.
Oh, just 2.
So she's got 12 wounds left. He's got 6 Trazales. 5 of them get through. And I'm -2 to hit. It just boned me.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that earlier in regards to how that dragon theoretically should have been bulletproof. Like, nothing really should have been able to touch it.
I 100% thought that dragon, because I've locked it from both sides, because rats like retreat and obviously charge around, and that's how he caps objectives. So I've locked it in so that he can't retreat, and he was silly and put his Screaming Bell backing up onto terrain, so he couldn't retreat that either.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, this is cool. I've locked him in. Gotrek will get in there, and he's going to butt blast that shit and then start cruising around, but
hey, it wasn't meant to be.
yeah, it wasn't meant to be.
Awesome. Well,
But I think I got the most kill points this weekend.
Oh, cool, that sort of could be yours.
Well, I got 1,300 that game, and I was 1,250 later when I came into that. So I'm gonna get that salt.
Nice, nice. Oh well, hopefully the deco can get it, hang it up on the mantle, and above your bookcase of fine maple and
Yeah.
wood grade floors.
Yep. Trophies from kills.
Velvet robes.
Clipped off hair.
Absolutely.
Skin.
Beautiful. I love it. Awesome, Dave. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, dude.
Hopefully the sword is yours, and yeah, appreciate your time. Awesome. Peace out. Thanks, man. So yeah, that was Dave, the Master Kerr, doing really, really well there. Hopefully taking home the sword for most kill points. So.
Yeah, he's feeling fairly confident with that, so
Absolutely.
we'll see what happens there. So I just did a quick scout around just to grab some table information off a few tables that are still playing. A lot of people have managed to finish.
Yep.
So basically we had an Ideneth versus a Nighthaunt army on table 9.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. And the Mathland of the Storm killed 30 Reapers
Holy moly.
and 20 Blade Guys.
Wow. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And then he didn't want to die himself, so he just stayed on the table.
Yep.
And then in the same game, Zach, who was playing the Nighthaunt, made 7 10-inch charges.
Oh my goodness.
Or 10 plus, I should say, charges in that one game.
Wow.
So he ended up winning the game because who's going to be able to go against double combats?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That is pretty terrifying. So that was pretty cool. So then we had on table 7, we had Iron Jaws versus Feck. So that was Sean Horton versus a failed charge member, Dennis Laurie. And unfortunately, the Feck did lose that game. So the Iron Jaws basically took first turn, basically got across the table, pinned the Feck into their territory, and they had a really hard time trying to get back out of their territory and take the objectives on Sean's side of the table. So that was hard yakka for him. And then on table 16, we had 20 Chaos Knights in a Nurgle list, and they got smashed by 3 Bloodthirsters, one of them being Scarbrand, with 2 activations off Scarbrand, and they did a total of 3 damage. So they killed 1 knight out of the 20. So they obviously rolled like garbage and weren't able to do a single thing. So I'm pretty sure Alan is his name that was playing the corn. I feel like he's going to take his dice home, stick them in the microwave, and just blow the shit out of them, and they're never going to get used again.
Yeah, potentially like lining them all up in front of the oven, putting one in the oven, turning the oven to 220 degrees Celsius, and saying, if you don't perform, this is what's happening to you.
Yes. Well, personally, I would probably have the shits with them that bad. I'd kill them all. In the bin. I'm never using you again. After that, when you have 3 bloodthirsters, one being Scarbrand, who hasn't been in combat, so he's incandescent. Is it in? I don't know. But he's angry.
Had this trouble yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Full anger mode.
Full anger.
Anger levels max.
Yeah, anger levels max, and he performed like a wet paper bag. So
that would be so soul crushing.
It would be when you're like 20 knights who's supposed like their hammer unit being buffed up probably by a lord on demonic mount. Yeah, a lot of wounds, and then just
10 is 30, so there'll be 90 wounds as well. That's insane.
That is insane. And he had them basically when I saw them. He had them in one line across the middle of the table, so nothing was getting past. So the bloodthirsters thought they could take them on. Unfortunately, only killing one, and then dying in return. So insane. They were off the table when I got there. So unfortunate, and that is basically all the table goss that I can muster up for you at the moment, because most of the games have finished. We have just started to pack up.
Awesome. Well, guys, from our end, it's looking like that's probably all we've really got for you at the moment. In that regards, we will be doing some tallying and some other bits and pieces. So once we have some final results, naturally the presentation will start. We'll do our best to get some photos. If you're interested in knowing what's happening or what the final scenes were, etc., naturally you can follow the Failed Charge. Jump on the Toowoomba Open event page, even the Toowoomba Open in general. I would imagine it'll probably get put on all of them. Who won, what they won, best in factions, etc., etc. Most kill points, the Big Dick Energy Award.
Middle Table
Award from the Heralds of War. We'll get all that info out to everyone. So yeah, once it's all finalised,
I'll try and get one of the boys to live stream the presentations as well, so that can be up on the Facebook.
Facebook Live.
Facebook.
Yep. So we'll get that happening as well. So we'll keep you in the loop. But also, guys and girls, and thanks so much for coming and hanging with us. Naturally, we always appreciate feedback. So get in touch via Facebook, Twitter, your preferred social media method. Let us know what you thought. If there's anything we can fix up, do better. As we said, it's our first time doing this, so I'm sure there's room to improve. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for staying in touch. Really appreciate keeping us company. The chat and the bants has been excellent. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and definitely keen to do some more in the future. So if you got some awesome events or big events, get in touch. Might be able to organise something there as well.
Yeah, so, definitely. So we're really enjoying doing the streaming. Of course, naturally, this is our first time, so if there's anything that you guys think that we can improve on, please let us know, as Josh said. Otherwise, I think it ran pretty smoothly. If I do say so myself, I'm pretty happy with everything. So good work, Josh. Thanks very much for helping me, and thank you everyone else who has participated in helping me and answering my messages, in particular Travis. Shout out to him.
Absolutely.
And so this is something I'll probably be looking to do for future events as well.
Absolutely. Jumping into chat, Big Sean, thanks guys, really enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks man. You have been hanging out all weekend, so I really appreciate that. Obviously,
thank you.
The other people who've been hanging out with us in chat as well. Hopefully you get your Stormcast painted in time for the Sydney GT next week. As we know, we have lots of events upcoming. We've got, obviously the Sydney GT next week. Helped by the coach, the AOS coach, Mr. Magro. He has a YouTube channel, AOS Coach, so if you enjoy listening to people talk about the hobby, different faction focuses, other hobby relevant info, give him a like on YouTube. We've also got obviously Doom and Darkness, Measured Gaming, Elf Bro, all on YouTube.
Shadowhammer's another one that's just started up on YouTube as well.
Absolutely. So we've got so much content creators in Australia at the moment, which is great.
podcast-wise, we got the Heralds as well. They do one. The Measured Boys do a podcast as well.
Bush Radio.
Bush Radio is called. Mango Radio is another one that's out there.
Yeah, few and far between. But if you like some very raw content, that's probably up your alley. So.
Rage of Sigma is another one. Joe has been on and had a watch of our Twitch as well. So jump on there and listen to their podcast. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's one of my favourite ones. The Honest Wargamer does a channel as well. So make sure you jump on there and check him out as well.
Yeah, so Honest Wargamer is on all social media, so podcasts, YouTube, Twitch, everything like that. So
Notorious, I'm pretty sure they do one
they
as
do
well.
a podcast as well, which is really great.
Jump on there and listen.
The newest one is Talking with Clint. Really good episode. Really enjoyed listening to that. Also talking about some tournament coverage in the competitive AOS scene in New Zealand. Notorious podcast. Really, really good as well.
Really, really good.
Other than that, there is so much. So we're really sorry if we have missed you.
We don't intend to. We love everybody. And
my brain is fried.
You all do a fantastic job. And just jump on. You'll find everybody out there on Podbean, or just even ask them if you're not sure how to spell or find them. They'll let you know.
Naturally, if you are starting up some podcasts as well, give us a yell. Happy to plug some people. Understand that getting your content out there, people knowing about it's obviously the hardest part about
That's
that.
Right.
So feel free to get in touch. Obviously, we've got like international people like Vince Ventrilla with Warhammer Weekly. Really, really good as well. Definitely like a massive gem in the community. So much hobby contributions as well as just general chat. So weekly chat with them as well. Warhammer Weekly is fantastic. Can't recommend that enough.
Garage Hammer's another one. So if you do like a little bit of lore, they do endeavour. So they do war and lore, I think, or something on the
so they specifically excel in like the story side of things, but naturally they Alex Gonzalez, I believe his name is, does a lot of the match play rules, all that sort of stuff.
And he holds a lot of tournaments over there.
He does. He looks after the TO of the Decepticons.
So he's fantastic.
One of the biggest tournaments in
Lovely
America.
guy.
So guys, we're gonna wrap things up. Stay in touch. Go over to the Failed Charge and keep an eye out for hopefully a Facebook Live video of the awards presentation. Other than that, we'll be signing off for now. But thanks again. Really appreciate your time. And we'll probably see you guys in the future. So
thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
See ya.
Bye. And the awkward waiting for us to turn it off. So thanks, guys. Yep.